Previously on Inspired Initiative, Asja confided in Dagon about her fears of rising conflict and her duty to protect Kurar Sata, the hidden refuge of Mithrandel survivors. Restless, she cleaned the Tide chapter, where she and Rhukkarrak shared a moment. By morning, Asja prepared a meal before the group split up across Elendor. Maldorwen met with the Veiled Alchemist, seeking to strengthen ties with the Shadow Sons and uncover their connection to the Kutuzi Gnomes. Euan, short on coin, struck a deal with Tharum at the Blazing Anvil, working in exchange for discounted gear. Meanwhile, Asja and Rhukkarrak consulted High Priestess Arathiel at the Steam Temple about death energy. She spoke of its balance with life, but had no solution for its removal. Only a lead, the Shrine of Duality, a dangerous 3-day journey away. After regrouping, they visited the Flamin' Flagon and the bathhouse. Later, Maldorwen was drawn to the conflict in the skies, where he encountered Vaylin Shadowthor. The hooded figure promised information on the Kutuzi Gnomes, if Maldorwen uncovered the true intentions of the imprisoned Khaz'dûrum. Will the motley hue journey to the Shrine of Duality? What fate awaits the captured Khaz'dûrum? Tune in tonight on Inspired Initiative. As we pick up tonight, Maldorwen, you just broke off from having that conversation with Vaylin Shadowthorn. You study the planets in the sky, barely seeing the small little mote that is Ignisera, and pondering what the conflict has in store for you yet, before heading back into the Tide chapter for rest. This is now where you all are staying. You have a secluded room here, kind of dedicated just to the motley hue. Different cabins and bunk beds. It's definitely not incredibly nice accommodations. Not quite as nice as you were receiving at the Flamin' Flagon, but it's free. And so this is where you stay. All kind of grouped together, trying to get some rest. Before everyone beds down for the night, is there anything else anyone would like to do in this moment?
No, I don't think so.
I think the only thing that I'll say of note, at least, is that if they're all in the same room together, bunking down and stuff like that, if anybody's around, you'll notice Asja looks at the bed, kind of looks dubious, and just rolls a bedroll out on the floor next to the bed she would be occupying, and her stuff goes on the bed like a shelf.
Okay.
I don't have anything for Euan.
Alrighty. With that then, you all take a needed rest and allow the unconsciousness to overcome you as you sleep away the night. Within this night, Asja, as you drift off into the darkness of unconscious, no dreams find you. At least not at first. But you're kind of just left with kind of cold sensation and that bitter sting of regret that you've kind of been dealing with for the past day or so, ever since the beach. And that's just on your mind, and it kind of leaves you in a stupor with this meditation sleep that elves have. But eventually, as you sit there, just in this darkness, this void, you drift weightlessly, suspended in an abyss where even time feels uncertain. The chill is more than just the absence of warmth. It kind of seeps into your bones, gnaws at your thoughts, whispers of doubt, failure, regret. It presses in from all sides, suffocating, isolating. Then, light. A flickering ember, golden and soft. It does not burn, nor does it command. It simply is, settling into the empty spaces inside you. The warmth grows, gentle yet certain, pushing back the cold. It reaches past the doubt, past the shame, sinking into the core of you. And with it comes understanding. Visions start to unravel before you. Flashes of anger, the fire of your temper, wild and unchecked. The moment you lost control, the searing heat of rage that drowned out reason, you see the aftermath in stark clarity, the hurt in those eyes that you hurt. The damage left in your wake, the weight of regret settling like a smoldering ember in your chest. The warmth, however, flickers this, but it does not leave. It does not recoil from what you've done. Instead, it lingers, steady, unwavering. There's no judgment, no condemnation, only understanding. A silent acknowledgement of your pain, your struggle, your failures. It does not erase the past, but it does not abandon you to it. The ember then proceeds to grow brighter, wrapping around you, sinking deeper. Comfort, reassurance, not in words but in presence. You are not alone. You are not cast aside. He is still with you. The cold is forgotten. Swallowed by golden light, a steady, unwavering warmth fills you as you then wake up for the morning. And as you do so, all of you, as you wake up in this morning, you do notice that the vibrant colors that adorn Asja's hair have returned. With that, you all take a moment to have some breakfast and then go about doing your day. How we're going to run this session is over the next few days here, the characters here have some downtime. And so we're going to allow them to achieve some personal goals, go on some own personal quests, and we'll kind of walk through that throughout tonight's session. Unless there's anything anyone would like to do at the starting morning breakfast here, we'll go right into that there.
I think a note on Asja's hair needs to be made. So, Asja, are you feeling better?
Yes, much better. I still have little reflection to do, but I have been forgiven. At least, somewhat.
The color is back in your hair. It's good to see.
Yes, and my powers have come back as well. So, no more doghouse for Asja, or no more Zork house for Asja. She's gonna start shoving food in her mouth because she hasn't really eaten over the past couple of days. But she seems to be back to normal.
Euan will chuckle a little bit. nod over to her and say, "It's good to have you back, little one." And then go back to eating his own food. Sorry, go ahead.
She just starts to... You're kind of getting words in and out of, like, maybe like a little crumb kind of flying out of her mouth occasionally. She's talking with her mouth full and stuff like that about just random things and feeling happy and life being full again and all the rest of that.
All right. Well, as you all enjoy the morning breakfast after a pretty decent rest, I think how we'll do this is let's just have everyone roll a d20, and that's whoever wins the rollies will start with their kind of downtime activities. 19 for Rhukkarrak. 8 for Euan. 1.
No!
11 for Melvin. Alright, that's another 19. Rhukka and Asja, go ahead and re-roll. We gotta split the tie.
I don't want to go first. I don't want to go first.
I didn't want to go first either.
I don't want... I've gone first the past couple of times. Why do I have to go first?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so we're gonna begin with the adventures of Rhukkarrak. Rhukka, if you would like to just kind of describe a little bit of what your character is going to be doing over the next 3 to 5 days here in Elendor.
Okay, so he has a few different interests. He, as discussed in the last session, he's feeling a little bit guilty about forgetting about the Kezerum. So he's one of the first things he's going to do is check out what's up with them and with the Storm Wardens, and if they don't give him a good enough answer, he will investigate on his own with his curse.
Okay.
But we can get to that later.
Yep, we'll get to that in a moment here.
Mm-hmm. As far as the rest of it, he is, he'll probably mostly fill his days with whatever the Dawnward Sentinels need. So I'll first check in with them, make sure there's nothing they need to do, and then he will fill any additional time probably in the library, or maybe even the shrine or the
Steam Temple.
Temple, yeah, the Steam Temple.
Yeah, Elendor doesn't quite have a established public library. There are different places, and you could probably study some in the Steam Temple on some kind of religious aspects, but there's not a public library within Elendor.
Those books in that Steam Temple have got to be...
They're a little damp.
Probably made completely out of hide or something like that, so they don't decompose.
Yep.
But yeah, so wherever he can find information about this temple or this shrine of duality or whatever it is, he's gonna do that.
All right. So with that, just go ahead and roll me an investigation check, as you, on some time here, sometime there, spend some time looking into this shrine of duality.
Yep.
And you find nothing. No. I think the first place you probably would go is back to the High Priestess, and kind of get a little bit of confirmation of exactly where it would be. And other than her telling you that you would want, it's like a 3-day trip outside the city, so it's going to be 3 days there and 3 days back. And she basically says to follow the river that goes up towards the Desert Shade Woods. And once you come to the mouth of that river, continue to go north until you see 2 rock formations that look quite similar. The one towards the west is a little bit taller, but as soon as you start to see that, you know you're in the right spot. But you...
Okay, so we follow the river and then go north from there, you said?
North from there, yep.
North from the mouth.
She does warn
So
that
you get
she doesn't know the precise location, but that should get you there as long as you have some skills in surveying the land. But it is going to be somewhat dangerous to take friends with you.
2 stones or pillars that look similar.
Yep.
Okay, that sounds like a great time. And he'll kind of discuss with the party throughout the week a little bit of what he's planning on doing. We can just do that after all this for fine details, but
Yep.
everyone is aware of it and what he wants to do. And then he will also be every day. I know that Asja was trying to work in the curios shop, so every day he'll stop by Curios and say hi to Asja, and just continue to peruse through the random junk because he was very intrigued by what he found previously. And he doesn't have a whole lot of money. Most of the time, it's just is mostly window shopping. But
Go ahead and just roll a d10 for me. We're gonna see what thing you stumble upon in one of these visits. They're really
A2.
okay. So on one of these visits, Asja is doing some work or whatnot. We'll get to that in a bit. But Venos, the elderly elven figure, kind of greets you and points out one of these, what looks to be just a water skin of sorts. It's kind of sitting on the side there, but he kind of holds it up to you and shows you a little bit of what it does as he kind of takes a sip from it, and then his voice completely changes for the next 25 words he says, as he then places it back down and just like, "That's quite a neat trick, isn't it? Only 65 gold pieces?"
Voice changer? Is this something that you can control how you change, or it always sounds like that?
Oh, absolutely. As long as you've heard the voice or know the person, you can sound exactly like them for a brief moment.
For 25 words.
It has enough juice in there for probably another 6 uses.
And do you use one of those charges every single time you're scrolling it off? Because that would...
In order to drink, in order for it to properly absorb into your vocal cords, you need to drink a decent amount.
Is there a way to refill it?
I don't know, probably. I couldn't do it. I just collect the things, I don't make them.
Well, I don't really have a need for it at the moment, but that is very... all these... You have so many interesting things here. Your shop is...
Curious.
I like them here. Yes.
Right, and we'll play it from that.
Yep. Okay. But yeah, other than that, I'm pretty sure that's what his days will be filled with.
Okay. So we'll kind of go back a little bit and highlight you investigating the Khazdurim. How are you going about doing that? Are you just... You don't know exactly where they were taken. From a little bit of idle chit-chat, though, you could probably figure out pretty easily that there's not a prison in Elendor, really. They don't really have much of a need for it. There is, however, cells underneath the Tempest Bastion, and your best guess would that's where they were taken.
Yes. And the Tempest Bastion is where the Storm Warden's headquarters is, right?
Correct.
Okay, so first he's going to try and trust in the process and go to the Tempest Bastion and just go to the kind of the clerk there.
All right.
And just inquire.
So as you enter the Tempest Bastion, this is your first time here. It is incredibly orderly. Everything happening is happening for a reason. and like a well-oiled machine, this Tempest Bastion is. It's a little daunting at first, seeing all these high, heavy-plated, armored figures walking around, looking very purposeful in their step. You then walk up to the main clerk. There's a couple people in line. You wait a little bit. They do see the public and take requests, so it's not completely out of the ordinary for you to be here currently. As you are then brought forward and are the first of the line there, the clerk kind of looks towards you. Can I help you?
Yes, I just have a quick inquiry. I was wondering, I'm part of the adventurers that helped bring in the Kazdurum, and I was wondering what became of them.
I'm pretty sure they're being questioned. I know that much for sure. I don't know if I can divulge too much information.
Are they being treated nicely, or is that divulging too much information?
You know, I wouldn't know. That's not what I do. If you want to talk to someone that's a little bit higher than my payroll, then we can maybe set up an appointment or something like that. You said you
don't know anyone except maybe Calrith.
He's the big boss. I mean, I could try, see if he talked to you.
Actually, no, I know Investigator Gronk. That'd probably be more appropriate.
Gronk, I could, yeah. Let me send a message real quick. He kind of turns back and does a little bit of arcane little fingers before whispering, and then waiting a moment. All right, yeah, if you come back this time tomorrow, Gronk should be able to see you.
Excellent, thank you. And
next. As you then leave, and then spend the rest of your day, stop by the oddity shop, whatnot, stop by the Steam Temple right there, and then the next following day, you visit back with Rock. As you enter back into the Tempest Bastion, you kind of see the elevators, if you would call them that. These small, probably no larger than an inch platforms in like width. Or not width, but like height, that descend from the actual staircase here. There is a staircase that goes all the way up, but it's a lot of stairs. As Gronk does descend down on one of those platforms. Howdy. I'm told that you wanted to meet with me. You want to head up to my office?
Oh, yes, please. I would appreciate that.
Alright, just step right here. Make sure you don't fall. It could be to your peril, so let's go. There's a little bit of like a clap as the platform then lifts back up off the ground. And as you start to raise higher and higher into the Tempest Bastion. You then, a moment later, step off of it onto a higher floor, where Gronk leads you into a not lavish office, but a decent space with all kinds of notes and the like red wires leading to different places, conspiracy theory all over the place, basically. Bunch of journals filled with whatever different things Detective Gronk is investigating. So just have a seat right there. What's this all about? Heard something about the Kazdurum?
Yes, I regret how everything went down, and was hoping to see if the Kazdurum are being treated fairly, at least.
Well, I know that they have most of them, I think all of them, down in the cells below that are very highly restricted. I know that I've been able to talk with a couple of them here and there, as that's part of my duty. But, I mean, I don't know if they're being treated super fairly. They got food and accommodations to some degree, at least, though.
I just am hoping that this does not lead again to another war. So, as
Right, that'd be
long
quite
as
bad.
they are, being cooperative, I am hoping that we could give them the courtesies to hopefully. I know there's never going to be friendship between at this point because it is a mess, but
That would be quite the day of seeing elves and Gestur shaking hands. I don't see it happening.
well, but it's just I don't know if there would be. I kind of want to see their accommodations, but I don't know if there would be a point.
It's gotta be a lot more difficult. I don't know. Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
Oh, very persuasive. Super persuasive.
Oh no.
Yep, this is all my rolls for today.
no!
This
This is my third natural one for today so far.
Yeah, the dice checks, yeah. Okay. He just kind of eyes you suspiciously, like, I don't really know you. Yeah, about that. I don't think I got the clearance to allow just anybody down there. I know you helped out here and there, and I do appreciate that quite a lot. I don't want to understate that, but Calor's got it quite a lock and key, if you know what I mean. He's got it pretty tight down. I'm already kind of in a little bit of hot water if I do too much. So I don't think I can help you out there, unfortunately.
Well, I'm glad to see that you are doing well. You
Recovered
seem to have
some.
recovered from your injuries.
It's still a little sore, but taking whatever explosion that was to the face definitely did not feel so great. I can imagine
Yes.
it as you did say.
Yes, it was not pleasant. Well, thank you for your time. I will leave you to it.
All right, well, have a good one and stay safe out there. Leads you back towards the elevator. You descend, and you walk out.
So they're supposedly being kept in the basement of this building with all the storm wardens on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to not get too much on the wrong side of Calreth to kind of prove his point. So,
If you wanna,
as much as he's curious,
if you wanna think about what you're gonna do, we can always shift to someone else and then come back to you as well.
yeah, at this point in time, I don't think he's going to do anything. But if I think
Okay.
of something, then I'll let you know. But I'm pretty sure that's all he's going to do for now.
All right. With the Dawnward Sentinels, they have you go do different tasks, like kind of tidying up, not necessarily what Asja was doing with like cleaning, but like straightening, like target practicing rinks and whatnot. And they might send you out with the Leviathan Hunters a day or whatnot, but nothing super important with these like 3-ish days that you work. But they will pay you for helping out here and there, which I'll send that to you later.
Okay.
All right. With that, Maldorwen, Euan, and Asja, if you guys want to roll a d20 to see who goes next, shall we?
Twelve for me.
4. Yes. Sorry.
Alrighty. So Maldorwen, what would you like to do in these 3 to 5 days of downtime?
Okay, so when it comes to work, I would like to try and help the Downward Sentinels by doing some inviting, like nicely handwritten recruitment posters or something like that. I do
Yeah.
have proficiency with the calligrapher's tools.
Yeah.
And seeing as the tide chapter is quite empty, I think he would, out of his own initiative, knowing that people during the harsh are going to be hunkering down and stuff like that, perhaps not too busy, is going to take it upon himself to try and campaign a little bit for the wardens.
Alrighty, perfect. Go ahead.
The sentinels.
Yeah.
My brain.
Then go ahead and roll your calligraphy tools using dexterity as a check to see how well you can put together these flyers, if you will, to advertise.
Okay, so it's gonna
the
be
Sentinels.
whatever I roll plus 5. Okay, 15.
15's not bad. So they're definitely not like professional, but they are very nice looking. They will definitely.
I have something that lets me add a D10. I don't know if it would work for this.
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it's with a use of my second wind.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. It's called Tactical Mind.
Yeah.
So if I'm making mistakes, then I'll fix them.
There you go.
Okay, 24.
So they are professionally, just fresh off the printing press. Yeah, they look very nice, and will probably drum up some more interest in people joining the Sentinels, those that are able and looking for work. And we'll say that you spend a good, probably portion of a day making those up, and then head on out and hang them up here and there, and kind of advertise, join the Sentinels.
Hanging them up is a tall order, pun intended. I'm probably gonna need some help with that, but yeah. And then
Do you ask any of your companions for help, or who do you ask for help with hanging those up?
yeah, like probably since they're gonna be around the docks, like I'll hand them to Euan and Asja as they go out for their day jobs. Like, here you go. Can you please hang this around the docks? I want people to see that, the sentinels are doing a good job for Elendor. And perhaps with more people, more good can be done.
Very well, I'll take some.
I can do that. No problem. They are very nice looking, Maldorwen. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty. What else would Maldorwen like to do?
Okay, so he will be working on a Tritsi. So he's gonna be watching the sky at night, like knowing that they're not as busy. He'll be able to stay up late and then wake up a bit later on, like at noon or whatever. But yes, like he's gonna do that since he hasn't been observing the conflict as closely because he's been busy. But
Right.
yes, like that's something I would really like to do as well.
Okay. Go ahead and just for that, make a perception check for me. Or actually, no, let's do religion. Religion, I think, fits perfectly here.
Okay, yes, I like religion. Let's see how it goes. Oh, okay, 11.
Not as good, but you're a little rusty. You haven't been studying the conflict as much of late, but you get back into the flow of it. Make sure to spend a decent amount of time staring up at the stars and the different constellations that you see this time of year. as Terradin slowly continues to fade in the sky, growing smaller and smaller as Ignition grows larger and larger. Still probably a good fit or like 25 days or more before Embervale fully hits, but it's coming. You note that the star constellations, you kind of check a star chart, whatnot that you have that kind of involves your religious practice, and they're the still constellations like you see every year. You can exactly predict where constellations are going to be at what time and what date.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. So yes, like he'll just start noting that down, and I also wanna talk to Rhukkarrak about something that involves what he wants to do, but I think that it would be better to get to something else first, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Which is very important, which would be that Maldorwen would like to set up like a dinner, like a dinner date with the captain, Taran.
Yep.
At the docks.
Okay, so how does Maldorwen go about setting up this dinner date at the docks?
So knowing what makes Elendor tick, he will take his coin pouch with him and just like, I guess, make his coins be worth it in terms of getting a ship. I want to have like some fancy food that's ready to go from the vendors at the docks. I want to buy a bottle of Volantis, like the best that I can get, probably from the Flamen Flagon. And then, yes, like I want the ship to go out like to the middle of the Gulf, but like inside the walls of the city.
Yeah, so just the harbor there. Okay.
Yes. And what I want to do is like reserve like the crow's nest, like the crow's nest. I want to
the stormbird nest.
Ship.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, I want to look for a ship with the biggest stormbird's nest, and I want to set a table there for the captain and myself.
Okay. The table will have to be relatively small, but you're small, so it's gonna work. Right, yeah, easy enough to do. We'll say that with how well the flyers worked out on probably a day or two before, Dagon probably saw them, was like, "Oh, those are great," and probably handed you some coin as well for doing that. And so we'll say, I'll get you the number on that coin that he handed you for that later, but that will cover, I'll subtract whatever cost this will be included in that coin that I give you. And it's not super expensive, like you're just hiring a boat to go out in the harbor a little bit for the night, for the evening. So you have it all set, planned for that night. How do you ask the captain?
Okay. Got exponentially more difficult. Okay.
We'll say that she's currently in her office as you're right outside in the tight chapter.
Okay. So I'll, knock on her door to call her attention, and then Maldorwen will say, "So, Captain, are you hungry, perhaps?"
Kind of welcomes you in and kind of nods at you as you will come in, still kind of writing papers as you enter the room. Kind of takes a deep sigh and stretches a bit.
Oh, I've not eaten much today. Could probably grab a bite to eat. Got some leftover bread in the storage over there. Make a dinner, I guess. Unless you had something in mind.
You already picked up on how much I like bread. That's good.
I guess so.
But no, I had other plans for tonight. If, well, you would like to come with me, there is something that I want to try. We've been to the docks a couple times, and there is vendors there with very interesting stuff. I would really like
It is
to
true. So many
try
things.
some of it.
I see.
He kind of looks back down at like stack of paperwork. Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me. That's pretty good. 18.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Alamore.
Kind of looks at the papers.
I've been too busy with work lately.
Shifts them to the side and stands up.
Lead the way.
All right, so I will take the captain with me to, the stall where I had them prepare the food to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll say, okay, here is the food. Can you follow me? There is a spot that I think would be nice to sit and eat.
You got a picnic planned out, do you? Lead the way.
Well, you haven't been to Kertash, and I thought maybe I could try and bring a piece of Kertash here for you.
Now you have me intrigued. What do you have planned?
Well, it's not gonna be the same, obviously, but I think it's gonna be as close as I can get for now. I hope you would like it. At least that way you will start to prepare yourself if you ever visit.
I definitely would like to visit one day. I've heard the stories of the great flying city.
Okay, so follow me.
And she follows.
All right. And so, yeah, he'll get on board the ship, thank the captain of the ship for, doing him a solid. And then he's, I think, pretty agile at climbing. So he'll, kind of strap the food around his gear.
Okay.
And then try and help the captain up if he sees that he's struggling or anything.
We'll have the captain roll athletics check here. It's a pretty big crow's nest, right? We'll see if
Okay, but she has advantage because I'm helping.
yeah, there you go. Athletics with advantage. Yeah, 21.
There you go.
Time's up. Very nice. You help where it is needed. As you arrive at the top here, and there is a faint breeze on the wind. It's still relatively still just due to the nature of Stone Hollow. But with the large galleon that you have moving, you can kind of hear the artificial winds of the aeromancers below that are guiding the ship just slowly out into the harbor, overlooking the beautiful landscape of Elendor here. The sun just starting to set in the sky as the two of you arrive up at the top of this crow's nest.
Great view from up here. Probably the highest I've seen the city from, that's for sure.
Yes, indeed. It must look very nice from Kalerid's office. I kind of envy him for that.
That it does. I've only been there once, but didn't spend a lot of time looking out the window. Just business.
Business with calories.
Not
That's
that kind of
interesting.
business. Not the fun kind, at least.
Would you mind sharing?
Just... Garrett does not love the sentinels. He feels that we step on his toes too often. That it is his responsibility, the warden's responsibility, to watch the city. And it can be frustrating because we are just trying to help. So, just arguing and whatnot. Nothing interesting.
That sounds very interesting to me. But anyways, have you tried volantis before, Tarin?
Don't believe I have, no?
Well, I have a bottle here. And some spicy food that was the closest I could find. The fact that we don't trade that much with anyone really makes it hard to find Kertusi stuff even here in Elendor. I was lucky to find the volantis. Actually, the Flame and Flagon it has quite the stock.
Definitely try to diversify what they have. So this Volantis is from Curtis?
Yes, Kertas is the only place that, well, makes volantis. Okay, here you go.
I'm
And
very intrigued to try it.
I'll pop the bottle, which has nice face and everything to it. Yeah, and then I'll, the cork looks like it's about to fall, but I'll kick it up and catch it with my hand.
Takes
Here you go.
glass.
Take the first sip.
It sips it.
Very bubbly, that's for sure. Quite sweet. I like it.
Yes.
Is this one of the more pristine vintages?
No, this is sort of like a common one that we make when Tide Trail comes.
I could imagine it gets difficult to trade for more pristine stuff.
Well, when we go to Kertas, I'll find a good bottle for you. One that is not as sweet. This one is, yes. Like the sweetness doesn't allow you to feel the airness that the lightness that the drink has. Sorry for my common.
Oh.
Anyways, here's some food as well.
As you two begin to eat, as just the kind of street food, if you would, but it's very good. Different roasted, like, crustacean and all kinds of different seafood that was just caught fresh today. Yeah, kind of finger food, a little bit easier to eat in this scenario. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, I'll actually, I won't eat as much and just stare out into the city and, at her as well. And as we are drinking and eating, I'll say, so I have a question for you, Tarin.
She just kind of nods.
What appeals to you the most about living here in Elendor. I know you're from Baltari, right?
Originally, I didn't spend a whole lot of time in Valtari though. Just my youth. Elendor, it's a piece of its own, that's for sure. The city is, well, quite pretty from up here at least. You should see it when Emelberia is activated as well. It is like a giant gemstone that encompasses the sky. Sparkles reflect all throughout it. Quite a marvelous thing. Protects us all. But like I said before, I don't necessarily love living here. It is just where I am currently. Trying to do what good I can.
Okay, yes. Primal barrier sounds beautiful, the way you put it.
It is, it's awe-inspiring as well. But keeps back all those storms, at least the ones that get through.
And yes, I do remember you said you weren't as happy here, you were just trying to help. And I know also, well, at least I believe that you were brought here by the conflict. But that leads me to my other question. Another question that I have for you. If you could go anywhere right now, where would you go?
I could go anywhere. I'm not sure. I haven't given it much thought. I do enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping people.
There's people to be helped all across Aruthar.
This is very true. If I left, oh, I don't know what Dagon would do.
It's funny how you like the outdoors and you don't really see much to the city other than, beautiful things that you describe. But it seems like your heart is here.
It definitely has grown on me over the last couple of decades that I've been here.
You
Even
do
though-
seem to enjoy doing as much as you can.
Yes. Sometimes I wonder if I do too much, but then I ask myself, who has to do it?
Well, I'm hoping you will get help soon.
Me too. So, is this like a taste of characters per se?
You could call it that. I would like to call it a date, perhaps.
I see.
I mean, do you agree with me?
It's kind of nods. If this just a taste, I might want more. She's just looking at you.
Ooh. He's like really blushing under the helmet, so he's grateful he has it on right now. uh,
Tell
then he'll
me
say, okay.
more of what the city is like. I know so little of you.
Mm. Well, do you want to know about me or the city? I guess in a sense, knowing about Kertes is knowing about me. So, well, it's not as big as Elendor, that's for sure. There's a lot more people here. Kertes, it sometimes feels like we're all family there. You mostly know everyone that lives there since we are, for the most part, up in the clouds, tending to the sails, and training. Well, playing Malvis when the weather is good. When the weather is bad, we also play Malvis. But, yes.
Malvis, I need to play it or watch it. What do? You play it? Can you watch it as well?
Yes. Yes, you can watch. It's entertaining. I'm not as good at Malvis as some other gnomes. But I guess, like me, Kertes has a hidden face. There is a lot of concern between and amongst many of, well, the eldest gnomes. Because we haven't been doing so well with peace. Younglings without a way to have a purpose and see the purpose in training, in battle, in wearing their helms, they turn to other things to fight each other. Many even leave for Baltari now. My sister did. Malvis is popular there now, and some people pay to watch the sport. So, well, that's what she does. And me, I guess I haven't moved on. Just like the planets above, it's the same for me every season, every cycle that goes. It's a longing to know what this means for Kertes and for me.
Do you fear the change?
I do. And as I say that, he'll walk like closer to her and extend his hands.
She'll grab him.
But I can also see how change could bring different things to me. But what about Kertes? I'm sorry. Perhaps that was a bit much. A bit more than what you asked for.
I can see the inner conflict in you. And I understand it. Change is never easy. And yet it always comes. Sooner or later.
Do you feel it, Tarin? The change coming to Aruthar? To Elendor? It's already started.
Do at least something. It's hard to describe. Almost like a whisper on the wind.
Hmm.
I just hope the change brings good this time instead of what it did last time. I don't know.
Long ago, in the battlefield, I met someone that spoke of many things that I wish I understood then. Change was one of them. It was just a night, but I was young and it was enough for me to think about it even now. I fear change as well because that meant I lost her.
He just kind of squeezes your hands.
There was many years of peace that I spent watching the skies for a sign. But it was out here all the time. It was here, in Elendor. I just feel like I wasted all this time. And now that I find you, everything seems like it's gonna be like before. No more peace. Well, but you've kicked my ass before. You've shown me that you're stronger than, well, anyone that I know. Really. So, if you're with me, and he'll squeeze her hands, then I won't fear change. I will just face it.
We'd face it together.
He'll nod. Thanks, Darren.
Thank you, Maldorwen. Is that your real name? Or is that just a nickname? Like that is a bird. I'm sorry if this is insensitive.
I wish I could tell you my name. I really do. That's one of the things I always lamented about every other person I've met that is not my family. Especially those who've changed my life. But I cannot betray the tradition of my people. We are only worthy to be named in death if we die how we were supposed to. But if you don't want to call me Maldorwen, you can give me a nickname as well.
Oh, you don't want to start there. I'm terrible at names. I had a pet groundhog once. I just called him Rock.
That's
You look
actually
like
a
a
good name
rock.
for a pet groundhog. But yes, I wouldn't appreciate being called Rock.
Noted.
We'll say the two of you spend some more time just looking out upon the city as the sun slowly continues to set, before you once again see the night sky and the stars kind of glitter in the sky with the elemental planets visible. You share more conversation here and there, just getting to know each other a little bit better, before eventually you return, at least down from the crow's nest.
Can I do one last thing before we come down?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll have her stand on like the railing of the stormbird's nest, and I will like use the mast to hold myself and her, like, there.
So you want her to stand on the railing of the
Yes.
nest?
Uh-huh.
You want me to do what?
Do you trust me?
I cannot fly. Not like Calorith.
Do you trust me?
Just kind of looks at your mask, kind of trying to glean some sort of trickery afoot.
I guess.
And she'll get up on it and start to like wobble a little bit.
So he'll say, "Yes, the city does look very beautiful from here. But would you mind closing your eyes?"
I could lose my balance if I do that.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay. Come on, Alamore. You love me, right? Okay, 14.
14. Okay.
Just for a moment.
And her eyes will close as she kind of starts to wobble a little more.
So I'll just let myself go, kind of even like jump, and like grab her in a tight hug as we fall, and I cast Featherfall using my Feather-like Descent racial trait.
Okay. So as you push off from the mast, as she starts to fall, like, oh no, I knew it! And then you start to slow in the descent as you slowly start to glide down. As she kind of squeezes on tight before opening one eye, and then just kind of looking as you guys are falling.
Oh, that is some adrenaline going. Oh. That's a neat trick. We are heading straight for the water.
Oh,
Can you make us go somewhere else?
Swimming. Like
Just
air
starts, like-
swimming to the ship.
yeah. Like,
Then cast like gust, so we actually get there.
yeah, and you barely land, we'll say, on like the deck of the ship before like having to catch yourself a little bit before falling into the harbor itself.
Yeah. So Maldorwen is just like laughing and saying like, sorry.
Just taking like deep breaths, and she joins in laughing as well. After a moment, kind of looking up at the crow's nest, and then she's going to, as you guys are laughing, she kind of like gets down to your height, almost like on one knee, to sense, just kind of pulls you into a hug.
I really
Nice.
needed this. Thank you.
Well, that's both of us then.
And then she's gonna kind of still hold on to like your shoulders.
So you never
Come on,
take off
hedgehog.
that mask?
I will take it off. I promise.
But not tonight.
I need to find the answer to that question first.
I understand.
I cannot renounce my duty to my people yet. If I find a reason, then I'll be glad to join you in whatever you want to do for the rest of my life. And I won't care about anyone knowing my name. Just you.
It just kind of chuckles.
Oh, you better start looking.
And she'll give you a little, like, kiss on the beak of your mask. Little peck. And she stands up.
It's getting late. Let's go.
Right. Oh yes, that was amazing.
As Maldorwen and the captain return back to the Tide chapter for the evening. Wonderful moment of respite and calm, getting to know each other more. Was there anything else you wanted to do, Maldorwen?
Oh yes. Talk to Rhukkarrak real quick. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
We'll say
just
the following morning. We'll say timeline-wise, Ruka probably just came back from meeting with Gronk there.
Okay, so he'll, get close to Rhukkarrak as they're having breakfast, and I think he will talk to the entire table, really, and say, "Well, I told you what Shadowthorn wanted, didn't I?"
Did you?
Well, if I didn't, what he wants is he really wants to speak to the Khazdurim that are imprisoned. There is information from them that he deems worth it.
That would be kind of difficult. As far as I understand, they're underneath the Tempest Bastion.
Yes, it's extremely difficult. I myself have very little idea of how to try and find that information. The only thing that I thought that could work was maybe leveraging some of the favor I carry with Aeon Satriel and offer him some of the information in return. I was thinking we do know some stuff that he perhaps doesn't yet, and if we are quick to act and convincing enough, and he looks towards Asja and Euan. Asja, of course, first. Maybe we can convince him as well to help us on this, and we can tell him what we find out, or at least our version of it, if we don't want to be truthful.
Did he say what kind of information he was after?
Sorry, Jim, I don't remember exactly. Can you refresh my memory on
Yeah,
that?
it's been a minute, so no worries.
Yeah, the break kind of scrambled my brain, sorry.
Valen wanted to know, and he was pretty confident that at least some of the Khazdurim would know why they were actually at the beach. He said that it was going to be difficult information to get out of them. Probably not easy. They probably wouldn't depart with it just willy-nilly. But if you could get that information, as well as a bonus, if you could get that information without that information falling into the Stormwarden's hands.
So, I would definitely prefer if we find other means of talking to the prisoners other than having Gronk or some of the Storm Wardens help us or find out, because that's something that Shadowthorn didn't want at all. And what he did want was to know what the Khazad-dûrim were doing at the beach exactly. We already found some stuff about their Celestia itinerator, but perhaps there's something else. Something that they're playing close to their chest, that even he doesn't know.
I mean, I can be a little stealthy, and I can also do it in my cursed form to reduce impact on the party. But it is probably not going to be easy. I won't actually, like, if we want to do this, and I'm going to it will just be scouting. I'm not going to go in completely, but I can potentially get the guards' movements and things like that.
I know you didn't have the best of interactions with Aeon Satriel, Asja, but do you think perhaps there's something that we could offer? Like, I don't know. Or maybe something that you know that would be valuable for him?
You see Asja almost pale a little bit as she looks around. I don't think so. No. I don't think he's very interested in healing arts or ancient pottery skills or depending on his interest in where I originally come from, I might have one thing that could get his attention. Maybe. But why Aeon? Why? He is so stuck in his head. Look at me with my gems on my face and my lipstick and my everything, and ugh, I am not your type.
Yes, he was, well, quite a lot to deal with. I'm not gonna lie. I gave away my best bottle of Volantis to him, which I regret, but it's because I think perhaps out of all of them, their intentions are the clearest and perhaps the easiest to manipulate. At the end of the day, he seems to want gold or trade. So if there is anything that we can supply in the way of knowledge that would make him richer, or inside, information into dealings with the city, or if we find a way to stoke his greed even with lies, perhaps he would be able to carry, I don't know. I mean, he might be able to bribe some people with his wealth. Perhaps also many of the people of Elendor would be swayed by gold, and, well, he has a lot of it.
I would suggest, I don't think if he is interested in things that would bring gold, I don't think he would be interested in replica pots and such like that, but Rhukka, On the other hand, well, we did just stop the Kazdurum from coming in with their metals, right? And their things, and their pickaxes, and whatever else they had in there. What if Ruka, someone from the north, maybe approached him, because it's not really a lie when Ruka says that he has had dealings with them before, and maybe could work as middleman for Aeon to try and set up trade. Would that not be more profitable to Aeon? He
As you were
would still
speaking-
get what he wanted, but not have to deal with Kazdurum coming to doorstep. Instead, he have middleman he can go through.
As you're talking about Ruka taking a big role in this negotiation, his eyes start going a little wide, and he's just like shaking his head like behind Maldorwen, like, no, what are we doing?
Maldorwen would be like, that's a great idea, actually. You do know about what sort of goods they could offer, and you talk to them, you know more or less how much they were, right? You could be convincing in that sense, Rhukkarrak. Even perhaps we could use your cursed appearance as a different person that is important, a trader from the north. You could play that part, I guess.
Euan, who's just been sitting
ahead.
here, kind of. Yeah, Euan, who's been sitting here, kind of listening, has his eyes closed and his arms crossed, kind of brooding at the breakfast table, smoking his pipe. Pops one golden eye open and looks over at Rhukkarrak, who's kind of floundering a little bit. You all right there, lad?
I haven't been. I'm not very good at speaking or politics, and so I do know. This could maybe. I was hoping to also use my curse form for other things. I have in the past had a little bit of control about the appearance of the curse form, but all I've been able to do is shift the color of the scales.
I don't think Euan has seen Rhukkarrak's cursed form. So at the mention of scales, both of Euan's eyes will open and he'll kind of cock an eyebrow as you talk.
It's my curse is that I transform into a Drakthir.
Thank goodness Euan's not drinking any Tylenol, or else he would spit take it all over the table and everyone else sitting around it. But he'll kind of cough, and a smoke ring will pop out of his pop out of one of his nostrils as he takes another drag on his pipe. Well, that that explains some things, I think. How did that come about?
I don't know. I was found wandering the dark and dangerous caves of my home, and I don't remember very much, and have always had these this strange curse and these gifts. So I don't know. At the moment, I seem to have a decent control over the curse, so that I can go into it only when I choose to. And as I said, I can shift the color of the scales. Although with Asja's talk of some source of the power, maybe I could try and figure out how to control it more. I don't know. But anyway. So I guess I could pretend to be a Drakthir trader from the north. I do know a decent amount about the Drakthir as well. That is where we would go to acquire things that we needed. Sometimes.
Is that trader or trader? There's a very distinct difference with the enunciation there. I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, I would pretend to be a trader.
That makes a lot more sense.
Because Aeon, yes, Maldorwen is saying that I should try and be a middleman, or maybe I am coming down to inquire after these merchants that were sent down and have not returned.
Well, it was actually Asja's idea, but I think it's very good. Yes. I think we could, say something along those lines. You would know better what to say since you made the journey from the north all the way here.
I am very good at avoiding people, not. This is going to go very badly.
Rhukkarrak friend, you told us that you came all the way here because you had a lead. And I know that you don't want to work for Shadow Thor. And I know you don't want to get in trouble, but finding out the information might also be the way of helping the Khazdurim out. And you can't keep running away from this. We were at the drifting hall because you led us there, Rhukkarrak. So, please.
Okay, so I am a Frost Drakthir from the north. And I am going to be a merchant, or a friend of these merchants, these Khazdurim, trying to find out what is going on with them. Is this how this works?
Yes.
What if? And Asja gets this kind of wide-eyed, like looking around the room. What if, yes, you are Frostrakthir from the north, and you have come down different cities and taken the long route, but you were going to meet up with the merchants because they are your friends from the north, and you were going to get on their ship and return back home instead of walking all the way back home.
She is such a genius.
I read a lot of books. Not all of them are educational, but apparently they are.
We could even try and get our hands on some of those things that the Khazdurim brought.
That could be. I'm assuming that I have sold all my wares already, because I don't have much to sell at the moment.
There might be some wares down on the beach yet. Depending on if it's being watched or cased or not, you may be able to get some wares from down there.
I would imagine that most of the stuff that they were selling is either in the ship that they sunk or in the ship that they had sitting in the bay right now.
Yes, I think
Ugh.
there must be some of those things on that ship.
If we have to go swimming to get into the other ship, I guess it's fine. It could be an option. Or we could just storm the ship that's here in the capital. That might not go very well to plan either, though.
What if we ask Shadowthorn's help for this? To get the wares to make everything seem more plausible. Some of their people also seem to be able to change their looks. Maybe have someone else there talking to Euan. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Like, if this is the end of my trip and I was here to join up with the Kazdurum and just get a ride home, I don't think it is unreasonable that I've already sold all my wares in the towns previous to here, and I'm just headed back.
Around this time, Captain comes in.
Oh, you all are here. Good. I got a missive from. You won't probably like it. Aeon, he has a job for you if you want it. It's probably doing something interesting, but he wanted to talk with you all later on, probably today. I'm just a messenger. I got other work to do though.
And she then goes back to her office. However, we're gonna take a pin in that and kind of rewind the time a bit and do both Euan and Asja's downtime before we get into further what Aeon might want of the Motley Hue. So roll them dice, Euan and Asja. Who's up next?
What? Aeon
Good
wants
dice
to talk
gods.
to us?
Bless you, Euan, with a natural one.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys have what
Oh,
made a
that's
name for
relevant.
yourself? What?
Let's go. Roll a 1. Snips. You could do it.
Crip,
May
if
the
you want to go
protector
first,
bless
and
me.
Stips wants to go.
Yes!
Okay,
Didn't you say you
nice.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
Finally, the curse was good for once.
You do realize that all of my rolls that weren't this roll were all lows. This roll was really high. You know,
Yeah, it's funny.
the dice are just against me. That's fine. Fortunately, we haven't had too many other rolls.
Alrighty. So, rewinding back to that first morning, it's probably been 3-ish days, we'll say. What is Euan doing in those 3 days?
First things first, Euan has kind of made this deal with the Forge Master and the Forge. And he's a little eager to do some work. He's feeling quite a bit nostalgic at the moment with thinking of Captain Rua from his far gone past. And being surrounded once again with people of that level of valor and honor, even if that honor isn't necessarily in the greatest of interest for everyone. Speaking of the wind collar, with that one specifically, he's a little eager to get to work, and so early in the morning after breakfast, and after getting the the flyers from Maldorwen. He is going to head out to the docks, and every now and then just kind of unceremoniously tacks one of the flyers up to a post. Couple might be on the side of tents, may or may not have asked, and make his way over to the forge.
Okay. So as you enter the blazing anvil for the second time now, the heat hits you the moment you step in. The thick and stifling air here, like the forge itself is alive. The clang of hammers ring through the air, each strike rhythmic and purposeful. A dull red glow pulses from the heart of the Ember Forge, illuminating shelves lined with gleaming weapons and armor shimmering with streaks of glowing ember glass. The scent of molten metal and scorched leather lingers, sharp but oddly comforting. As Therum, the bulky elven figure, hammering away at one of these tools, kind of wipes a bead of sweat off before looking up at you and giving you a nod. Welcome back! Ready to get to work?
I'm ready to be of service.
Oh, you got the build for it. What are your specialties?
Back in my youth, I helped a few times in the forges back in my home city. As of late, though, I've taken much more of a craft in wood carving, making of arrows, bows, shafts, hafts for weapons, handles, things like that and such. But I can operate the bellows, I can swing a hammer, whatever it is you need of me.
I like to hear that. Right, come back here. I'll show you around a bit.
As you kind of step properly back into the actual forge area, the heat is kind of just oppressive. But you're a fire drac there. It kind of feels nice here in this hot place. But Therum then starts to kind of walk you down. There's this large ember forge, is what Therum mentions it as. And you can see next to it, there's shard-like pieces of ember glass. That kind of reflective, they don't quite look like a gemstone, a little bit more transparent than gemstone, but like deeply hued glass stain pieces. And you can see that he kind of shovels a bit of those into the forge itself.
Easier comes straight from Downtime. No one else in the world makes them. And well, no one else in the world really forges them from this into metal as well. It's quite a unique trade we got going on here.
He then kind of leads you to some other places as the shorter gnomish figure kind of jaunts up to you guys as well. Kind of motions over to Kalia, as you heard him call her on the previous day.
So this is Kalia. She will be showing you the ropes more or less on assisting around here. She kind of gets into more than she probably should. He kind of gives her a little eye. He's like, oh, whatever. I do just what I need to do. Right. I think it'll be good for you to be here to watch each other. Yeah, I like that idea. Alright. Well, you two, be useful. I'm gonna get back to the sword over here. Need some coaxing.
And he walks back over to the anvil and continues to hammer it. As now you're kind of sitting in front of this much smaller individual, as she is probably a little shorter than Maldorwen even. No mask, not similar to him in that regard. You can see kind of soot-filled stains all across her face, as she kind of has a like tool belt of sorts on with all manner of different gizmos and gadgets that you can imagine her using throughout the forge here.
So you're quite the big fellow. What? You're good with the wood carving? It's always good to have someone for that, I guess. Got all kinds of daggers and whatnot that needs the hilts. It kind of shows you too a big portion of the lumber that they carry.
Mm-hmm.
So, what even brings you to this city of trade, Elendor?
Euan thinks for a moment, and as he's thinking, he kind of lets himself zone out a little bit as he takes in several slow, deep breaths of the heat of the forge, the magical embers, the smell of coal and hot steel, and the like. And as Kalia asks her question, she would kind of see Euan's eyes cloud over a little bit as he's transported back to the Sindarian forges from so long ago. Just kind of reliving that moment in his youth. And he kind of shakes his head a little bit and clears the vision. Sorry about that.
Did I strike a nerve already? Ah, man, I need to get better conversations.
No, you're fine. Memory from long ago. Pleasant one. But I actually came with a traveling companion. I don't particularly have, we'll say, a reason for being here other than I'm roaming and searching. Couldn't really tell you for what. But I traveled with some friends down into the desert shade. And things did not go well.
That's quite the spicy area. Would not recommend.
Neither would I.
Took
Ever
like
again.
one toe in there, and I was like, yeah, nope, that's enough for me when I came here.
Mm-hmm. After it didn't go well for my companions, I was... It's a bit hazy there for a while. But I was nursed back to health by my traveling companion up to here. And that's kind of where we're at. I'll know what I'm looking for when I find it. That's a little cliche, but that's about the best I can give.
Very interesting. Open mind. I like it. Moldable. All right. Well, Now, this might be rude. Don't take it as rude. But you are green.
Yes.
Why?
That's a very long tale. The short version is... This is a direct result of the Ember Wars and the Kazdurim overrunning my city.
Oh, yeah, that's, Oh, yeah, right. Well, we're gonna have some time. No pressure. But if you wanna fill me in on that long story, probably will help the time pass as, we get, working here. As she starts to tinker with some different things as you're kind of talking. Kind of make sure that you have everything at your disposal to start doing some wood carving and whatnot, making some handles and different arrow shafts and whatnot. Go ahead and just roll me. Do you have a wood carver's kit? Or are you proficient in that?
I am proficient in wood carvers.
You are proficient. Yes. Okay, so go ahead.
Double check and see if I have them in my inventory. I do have them in my inventory.
They would provide too if you didn't.
Yeah.
So as long as you're proficient, go ahead and just roll. Is there a certain skill you would think that would benefit Euan in this instance?
That is depending on what he is actually making.
Right.
Because if it's going to be a larger haft for like a halberd or a spear or something like that, that's definitely going to be a little bit more on the strength side. But working with smaller things, unfortunately, I would think that would be either wisdom or sleight of hand.
Yeah, just go ahead and just roll a straight d20 and add your proficiency bonus because you are proficient in the woodcarver's tools. You'll be working with a bunch of different stuff
Very
over
well.
the next few days as you spend some time in here. So we'll just kind of take that as a...
That is an 8.
All right.
I could use... I still have inspiration check mark, but I don't remember if I forgot to take that off or not, so...
You did get inspiration last week or 2 weeks ago, so you probably have it. I don't think you used it since then.
All right.
If you would like to.
Yeah, we're going to use that again. I don't want to look bad in front of my new peers, hopefully. That's much better. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 is much better than an 8, yes. So we'll say with that, the first piece you do, there's a lot to be desired in it. You haven't really sat down and done this for a while, and so it takes you a little bit of time to get back into the muscle memory of finally crafting different implements out of this wood here. But after you get into the flow of it, having conversations with Kalia, and occasionally Theron will come by and kind of chat a little bit. He's a little more quiet, kind of likes to stick to his work, but Kalia will talk your ear off, more or less. Probably more than less. But yeah, you do manage to produce a decent amount of different handles and whatnot that they're able to slide some of the dagger heads and other arrow heads into. That will definitely help add a little more inventory to the shop. And after the first day of work, Theron is quite pleased with the work you've done.
Excellent. Euan will kind of stand up and stretch a little bit after several hours of work and everything, and his back will kind of pop a little bit. He'll kind of stick a claw just into the forge a little bit and bring an ember up to light his pipe. and it's been...
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check as you're that close to the fire. Oh, that's a natural 20. All right, this fire is not natural fire. It is completely... You would recognize it because Cinder Tree also had a primal ember. And this is fire created from a primal ember.
Very well. So the familiarity of it all, just for the first time, I think, since we've all come here, no correction, since the baths probably, I think Euan feels a sense of home in a way. And he's certainly sort of relaxed. And he's continuing almost in a meditation way. Sort of slowly breathing in the smells of the forge and the heat. And everything else. And they'll kind of look over at Kalia. She's doing her thing. But these aren't too dissimilar to the forges from home.
Oh, is that so? You said you were from that Cinder Tree, right?
Mm-hmm. We had forges very similar to this running off of our primal ember.
Yeah, that's what we do here. You have to... I know Theron had to go through all kinds of paperwork and whatnot with the council to make sure he could get approved to get like a certain allowance from the ember. But it's the only way that you can really melt down ember glass, so...
That's something that we never worked with in Cinder Tree. The ember glass. Our steel was... Sorry, go ahead.
I just haven't heard much of Cinder Tree.
Mostly because it doesn't exist anymore.
Right. Sorry. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's alright. It happened a long, long time ago.
Gotta be hard.
It is.
I mean,
The military here... I apologize. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Just kind of like stares at you wide-eyed, like, he's talking. Let him talk.
The military here reminds me quite a bit of home. We were quite proficient in our military might. The guardsmen of Cinder Tree were highly skilled, and with the use of the weapons that came out of Cinder Tree and the high-quality steel that we were able to forge, we earned quite the reputation for ourselves. And then, of course, we had the Elite Guard, which is where I was, protecting the Quran tree, and that was our life's directive. Unfortunately, after a... don't even know what to say, skirmish, we had the Khazdurim skirt the southern edge of the forest that we lived in. We sent some scouts, and the scouts never came back. It was about a month and a half later, the Khazdurim attacked and took us all by surprise.
oh man.
It doesn't really surprise me that people don't really talk of Cinder Tree much anymore. I don't even know how much of the arms and armor that we produced still is even out there. I'm sure if it is, it's still in great condition. Battle ready is all get out.
I'm sure it is.
Now, what were you going to say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
She just kind of looks a little more somber after hearing that.
It's crazy hearing all these stories about the Ember War. Quite young, I didn't really live through any of it. It's crazy.
I've lived too long from
Sure
it.
did.
And still I have no real hate towards the Khazdurim. I used to. I wanted to see them burn as my city burnt. But as I have aged and as I have lived, that hatred has burned out in a lot of ways.
That's
I find
quite
myself-
the skill. I mean, to forgive like that.
It took a lot of time. To say otherwise would be an outright lie. But it took a lot of time, and now I find myself in the position of pitying the ones that are in captivity right now. Here in the city, of course.
Right, I wonder what's gonna happen to those guys. Oh man. I don't think
I don't
anything
know.
good. I don't have much distaste or dislike for Khazdurim other than your story makes them sound quite malevolent, but I know there's a lot of people here that have similar stories to yours, at least somewhat. I don't think they're as nearly as forgiving as you are.
Euan's hand will kind of absent-mindedly go to the scar down his chest and sort of brush against it as he's thinking. I don't think if I would have... how to say this? I don't think I would have found the forgiveness that I have if not for the circumstances of my survival.
You're an interesting fellow, Euan. You know that?
You're not the first person to say that, but I'm just Euan.
I bet you I'm not gonna be the last either. I'll bet 5 gold on it.
Probably not. Only 5.
You want to go higher? I can go higher. You want to do 500? Well, okay, maybe not 500. That's quite a bit for me.
I don't have 500. That's why I'm working here.
Same. Forget about it. We don't need it. Even though I would win.
He'll kind of playfully punch her shoulder, and he'll
Just
try.
flies across the room. Ah!
Yeah. I was gonna say he's gonna try really hard to gauge how much strength he actually uses, but just kind of playfully punch her in the arm. You're not too normal yourself, if I dare say.
That's true too. I mean, it's just, I don't know. They're quite the story. Like, I don't necessarily love my city. I come from Kertis too, but I definitely would not be happy if it fell, that's for sure.
I've actually been traveling and doing some work with the city with a Kertusi gnome.
Oh, really? I'm getting a lot of those around here.
You don't say.
There's a
Any
couple,
particular reason?
but they don't travel? All cities kind
That's
of
fair.
I don't know. They're kind of stuck in the past to some degree. Always brooding about
Yes.
the war. And those of us that didn't live through that, it's just kind of like, that's old news.
I can agree with that. Traveling with one, I can definitely say yes, they dwell a lot in the past and on the conflict. I don't
gonna
think
have
it's
to meet
necessarily
this.
bad, though.
It is always good to be prepared. Never know if the Khazdurim are going to come back. I mean, we saw them already here next to the city. Definitely doesn't bode well, I guess. I'm sure they'd be like, oh, this is the conflict's doing. Did they say that?
You sound just like him.
Oh, I knew
You
it.
kind of laugh a little bit. No.
My family's all the same.
Maldorwen is a good lad, a good friend. Kind of pulled me out of a tight spot on the beach not that long ago.
Well, at least it is good to... I mean, the warriors of Kertusi are quite the formidable force, that's for sure. So,
I certainly would not want to be on the receiving end of their bows.
no. Not a good thing.
When the next see him, I'll let Maldorwen know that you'd like to meet him. Maybe I'll bring him down to the forge with me. See how he deals with the heat.
Yeah, definitely gets hot in here. Those gnomes are not made for this heat. But
I kind of love it, but that's me.
I just
I
gotta
kind of
drink
let out a deep
a
laugh.
lot of water. She takes like a big, like a canister of water that's almost as big as her. Just kind of lifts it up, kind of stumbles a bit, and just starts chugging some more water. Before
He
pushing
pulls
out.
out his cell phone, takes a picture for later because it's funny.
All right, back to work. And she
Back to
starts
work.
to run across the forge and continue to tinker and work with some stuff, making sure everything is in top-notch working condition. And over the next few days, you spend some time in the forge, and you make a decent amount of coin doing so. It's nothing stellar, but it definitely will help towards whatever you're looking for to purchase in the future. We'll say that on one of the days, probably on the second or third day, Theron kind of calls you over. Oh, we're working on this blade, and it is quite... I think it will be just perfect for you. You wanted to adjust some things, though?
Yes, not too much. But I do have kind of a weird idea in mind.
lay it on me. You can think it, I can probably make it happen. I don't want to say I can, because some people have crazy thoughts.
He kind of adjusts his weight with the halberd, and stands a little taller, a little straighter. As you can see, I have received an injury in my life. It kind of gives me some issues with my mobility. Usually I carry my halberd as the weapon I was trained with, and it makes for a great walking stick for when I need it. Great sword, obviously, can't really make it a walking stick. I was wondering if there was any way we could turn it into a cane sword of sorts. I think I'm tall enough it'll work.
Great sword into a cane. That's a good bit. I could probably... Wouldn't want to poke it into the ground, or it would stick into the ground. That would be no good. However, the scabbard could fashion it in a way. I've seen the work you do with the woodworking over there. Could probably make it so it could fit into a scabbard that while there could be some sort of cane.
I'm certainly more than willing to work with you on this.
Yes, I know just the thing. Make it... I'll have a ember glass running down the middle too. It will lighten the blade quite a lot. That way the cane will be able to help you more.
This ember glass seems to be pretty incredible stuff.
It is
What
quite
actually is it?
pretty penny. Oh, well, it is imported from Valdai. Valdai is in the middle of the Shifting Sand Sea, and they collect certain particles of this sand in the large dust storms that happen in Stormwake. And using their own primal ember, they then superheat that into this glass that is infused with this raw elemental fire energy. It is one of the primary commodities in Sunspire.
That is quite interesting. Now, my question for the GM, how does it kind of stack up to the exports that we used to have from Cinder Tree back in the day, before it was leveled?
What do you mean?
Just kind of curious if it feels like it has the same sort of strength properties and stuff. Because it wasn't necessarily that Cinder Tree put out magical weapons. They were just of a very high quality when they were done.
Yeah.
So I'm just... It's more of a general curiosity than anything that would be impactful story-wise or anything like that.
Right. Ember glass is not as durable as like steel.
Right.
However, it is lighter and it does carry that elemental affinity for fire, and that can be used in different enchanting and whatnot to further increase like weapons and armaments. Like you can make, you have a plate mail with ember glass inlaid, it can like absorb heat and whatnot, be like fire resistance. And so it's a bit of a trade-off. It's not going to be like a fully solid steel blade, will be a little more durable than one that has ember glass in it. But then the ember glass will be lighter and have more fire affinity. It is still like glass, even though it is like tempered and whatnot. So it doesn't. It's quite durable, but it can shatter. Like almost anything can with the right conditions. So it's just different. I think Cinder Tree would have exported primarily more, like you were saying, just really well crafted stuff, rather than like infused with ember glass. And a lot of, I think, with Euan's, go ahead and just roll a history check for this actually too, or I just spiel out more information. 11.
That's
Okay.
an 11.
That's about what you know. I'll say Emberglass you've seen a lot, like in different armaments. It's very unique here. How Therim's combining the steel and the Emberglass. You haven't seen that done anywhere else.
Okay. That satisfies my curiosity.
Right, well, I'll get working on this. You go get working on the scabbard. I think in the next day or two, it's gonna be good.
And he's gonna kind of like talk to the blade a little bit.
Yes, you're gonna be a good blade, aren't you? Yes.
Euan will cock an eyebrow, as he does with anything that strikes him amusing or slightly awkward.
He like
And
calls
kind
back
of-
to you.
A sword ain't just steel. You gotta breathe life into it. Isn't that right? Yeah.
You sound just like the Forge Masters of Home. He'll kind of chuckle a little bit, take a drag on his pipe. Back to the work.
And you continue to work.
Mhm.
With that, we will move on from Ewan's escapades in the forge. We're gonna go over to now the last one standing. Asya, it is now your turn. However, I do think we will take a quick intermission before that because it is about the halfway mark here. So, Asya, right after breakfast, what would you like to do during these couple days of downtime?
Right after breakfast, Asya is going to be going straight to the oddities and curio shop, as promised to the owner. She's going there to not only help him out, but also keep an eye on him and try and, I don't know, see if she can improve his health for slightly selfish reasons that she would like one of her very good friends to actually be able to meet a family member at some point. She has no idea how that will happen, but she would like, some sort of ability to communicate and not just go, yeah, I met your uncle, but
Right. Go ahead and roll me a medicine check.
All right.
Seven
Never mind.
isn't great. You can definitely tell by the Elandris, the gemstone that kind of is his life support, if you will. It is definitely dull. It's not like, oh, he's gonna die tomorrow, by any means. Probably got a year or two left. What you think? You're not
of time.
exactly sure.
All right.
One good trip
but
might end it all.
one good final trip might be the best thing. Bring closure to, two
I was
different
talking
people.
about like tripping and falling, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. So she starts putting padding all around the place. No, but she's also got a secondary reason. She's going to keep an eye out on who comes in and out of the shop other than pesky kids and Ruka. She's just going to kind of try and keep an eye on who's coming in and out of the store, and do they look like they're just there because it's curios, or do they, do some people look like they actually know what they're looking for? And, so she just wants to kind of keep an eye on, do we have regulars? Are there not regulars?
Yeah, go
things
ahead
like
and roll just a perception check for me over the couple days that you
Okay.
spend helping.
Better 15.
It's not bad. So the store is definitely a little quieter. It's not a super popular store, but there are a decent amount of patrons that come in throughout, especially during the busier times of the day. There are a decent amount of people that you do see a couple times. A lot of them are just onlookers and just kind of go in and find something that kind of entices them and just like, what does this even do? And Vanos kind of walks over and kind of explains a little bit about the artifact or piece of weird oddity that they are looking at. But other than just a few reoccurring like, commoners, you don't really notice anybody of like super import. You do say, I'll say on one of the days, you do notice that there is, you rolled 15? Okay. We'll say closer towards like the third or fourth day that you spend here. There is a noble individual that does come in and looks for intent, right? Not just as like I'm perusing. And they kind of go straight towards Vanos. They share a few words. You don't catch all of it, but more or less of just like, you got the goods, and Vanos is like, oh, don't you worry. Right back here. And then an exchange has happened, gold is changed, and then that noble walks out. Quite quickly. Like, not sitting around and perusing at all.
She will take note of this. But I don't think she'll pry or push too hard, because she's not very interested in kind of prying, but she is going to, very much now, like, okay, there's stuff behind the counter, not just on the shelves. Okay, there's more business here than meets the eye. And that's kind of the information she was trying to look for. So, but other than that, I think very simply, she's just going to get up each morning and kind of prepare the breakfast for people. And if people gather around the table, they gather around the table. If not, they will find that breakfast is laid out on the counter for everyone before she leaves. She'll obviously keep an eye out to see if Dagon has made a decision or not. But other than that, she doesn't really return home after work. Instead, she is heading into the normal folks kind of part of the city. So more the suburbs, not the glass blade or anything like that, but like where the common people would live,
Right. Let's see if I can pull this up. All right. This is the map again of Elendor. The
Cindervale.
Common folk, more or less live in Cinderville up here. That is where, where common folk live. There is also the Wave Crest, which is similar, but it's more for artisans and people that are doing a little more that actually trade and do stuff, like produce stuff to be traded, rather than where Cinderville is just like pretty much a little less than that, just like commoners.
I think she would start with Cindervale.
Cinderville.
I think Cinderville. I think she would start there and just start to, find the different market areas, or see if there's different kind of taverns or whatever, aside from the Flame and Flag, and like see if there are other smaller, more community, quote unquote, community cafes or restaurants or whatever. Start searching for somebody she thinks is a ghost. But according to a piece of paper, they're not.
Right. Go ahead and just make a investigation check for me.
I am not so good at this one. See, 7.
7. So, there are a lot of people that live in Elendor. And Cinderville is pretty tightly compact with families. You don't see anything like super like hovel-ish to the point where like there's extremely impoverished people. For the most part, there's a little bit of that, but very, very little of that. For the most part, people just like the general workers of the city live here and their families, right? But you do see different kind of corners, stores-ish, like that sell different food and whatnot within Cinderville as well. You definitely don't recognize anyone that stands out.
Okay. I guess on one of the days she's going to ask at lunchtime, I have something I need to do. Do you mind if I only work half day today?
Oh, not at all, dear. Go enjoy your life. You have so much of it to live.
You still have some too. Don't talk like that.
Oh,
I will be back tomorrow.
It's true. Not much, though.
It is not time to start celebrating yet. Don't worry. You will get to have your big feasts and celebrations soon. But not that soon.
Celebrate? I'm dying.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
Oh. Where we come from, where I come from, we don't look at the transition as something to be sad.
Yeah,
So-
I'm just kidding. It's not a sad thing.
Okay.
I don't know if we celebrate it,
Scared me
though.
there for. Oh, well, we have big, huge parties. Sometimes 7 days, sometimes only 3 days. Depends on how quickly I catch things. But we have big parties. Lots of music, dancing, foods, very delicious. Anyways, I will see you tomorrow.
Sounds
Bye-bye.
good.
And she is going to head to the bastion. And I guess she will wait in line.
Okay. I will say this is probably the second or third day.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, okay. So you head towards the bastion.
Mm-hmm.
As you kind of walk in the pristine doors of the bastion. It's busy, but not crazy busy. You kind of glance around, you go stand in line, kind of sit there for a little bit. A minute or two passes before Gronk does come on down. This time he's taking the stairs down. Elevators are full. Kind of heaves a big breath at the bottom of the stairs. And kind of looks over. Ah, right, it's you. Wait a minute, I owe you, you got a dinner date, right? I'm gonna tromps over to you.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes, you do. You do.
been
owe
so
me a
busy.
dinner. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything I can help you with in here?
Yes, actually, you might be the perfect person to talk to about what I am trying. Can we talk somewhere a bit more, just you and I?
Alright. Get those thighs working. We're going up the stairs. Frickin' elevators are busy. Alright.
Oh, that's okay. I don't really like the elevators very much, anyways. Let's go. I race you. She's
All
gonna
right.
just-
As he tromps up the stairs. And
And
it's
her not in armor, just kind of ding, 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 ding.
yeah, you definitely are able to go up a little more deftly, since he is breathing quite heavily at the top. Whew. I don't know why they make us wear all this all the time. Okay, office.
Office. And she will follow him to his office.
All right, what's this all about?
Well, the last time I was here before I came to talk to you about the...
Did you find some more evidence?
No, this is different and won't get you in
Thank
trouble
goodness.
or blown up or... I'm so sorry I was not in my right mind on the beach and I could not get to you. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, no worries at all. It was quite the experience, but I'm fine for the most part.
I am glad. That is good. You don't look as melted as before. Very good.
Yeah.
But no, this is different. The last time I was here, when I came with my friend Euan to talk to you about the whole Casdoran thing, I also got a list of names of the... She walks over and closes the door and comes back and kind of sits down. I got a list of the names of the refugees from Mythendrel that had come through here. And, well, I came today to see if there's... well, I need to find one of the people that's on the list, but I don't know where to look. She pulls out the paper and hands it to him and points out...
Missing person case. Just my
Yes,
specialty.
But, oh, I can trust you. I can trust you. I can trust you. I can trust you. I can... I don't know who to trust anymore, so I have to trust somebody. I need to find this person because of something that was found at the beach.
Oh.
This person might actually be in danger now because of something there. It did nothing to do with Casdoram. Trust me, they probably don't like Casdoram as much as Caloris. But
All right.
there was a book found with something in it, and that something in it is something that I...
Right. The celestial insular plan thingy law. Yeah, that thing. Right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know what that all means.
but he does.
Oh, really?
It's my father. I remember reading about it as well. Don't tell anyone that, please. I don't have as much knowledge about things as my father would, but I don't want him to fall into wrong hands.
Right.
If he is alive, which I have not thought he was for past 80 years and have many questions to ask, but still, if he is here, I need to try and find him to at least warn him to be safe. But I need to find him.
I'm just gonna, let you know. This topic is quite hot right now. Like, oh man. Gallareth really wants to know what the heck this is all about.
Gallareth cannot know.
Trying to break the Casdoram. I don't know much, though.
She's going to stand up and kind of walk around his desk and put her hands on his shoulders and look him dead in the eyes and go,
Oh.
Gallareth cannot know.
Right.
Please?
Kinda nods.
She pats him on the shoulders. Sorry.
Gonna
But-
shake his head a little bit. Right. Yes.
I don't know who should know what. I just know that, as you said, now is hot topic. Everybody look for the information. And I know that I have seen... I've seen the book that they are talking about. I was much younger. But
So, who's your daddy? I mean, who's your father?
right there on the list, sir.
Right, okay, let me... Goes over and reads it. Yeah, it doesn't ring any bells. I can check the archives, though.
Okay. He... I am assuming you don't know much about Mythendril or families of Mythendril, anything like that? He might...
Not really.
He might be working in... If you have... He might be working in place of knowledge, if you have that here. Archive or library? Or...
Well, we don't have quite a library other than the archives, primarily that are kept in the Bastion here. There. I'll do some...
Small little world.
I'll do some research into this, though. I'll see what I can find.
I would appreciate that, because walking around the streets is not exactly getting me anywhere. I mean, I've tried some very interesting foods, but not find the person I'm looking for.
Right. How about this? I'll look into this tonight. Tomorrow night. Hey, that dinner date. Meet me at the Gilded Ember. I got a reservation set for that.
Okay. How should I... She points at her clothes. Is fancy place? Is not fancy place?
Yeah, you'll wanna dress nice.
Okay. I can dress nice. Perfect. Thank you for looking into this. I very much appreciate it. I will see you what time?
Yeah, let's just say right at sunset. Yeah. Because I'll be working during the day. Right as I get off.
I also have a job over at Oddities and Curios, so...
That place is weird.
But is run by the uncle of somebody from back in my city, so...
Ah, interesting.
But we will get to anyways. Tomorrow night, and she's kind of backing up, and even though she's got a decent level of dexterity, she will kind of bump into the door a little and open the door. Sunset. Gilded. Bye! And she's going to leave.
Alright. Alright, bye. You can just see he's still a little just puzzled about everything that just happened.
And she will head back to the chapter house. And she is going to... she's going to try and find Euan, see if Euan is home yet. If not, she's going to find the captain.
Okay. We'll say this time Euan's probably... You left earlier in the day. Euan's probably still at the forge currently. You can wait. I'm sure he'll be coming back in the next 2-ish hours if you wanted to wait. Or you can talk to the captain.
She'll talk to the captain, actually.
Alright.
She'll knock on the door very gently.
Come in.
And she'll open the door and kind of... I do have 5 minutes. I just need 5 minutes.
Sure. What can I do for you?
She slips in, closes the door. So when somebody invites you to dinner at the Gilded Ember and says you dress fancy, what does fancy mean?
Oh, a gilded ember.
Yes.
Like the... You want to dress quite fancy.
But what does it mean?
You know, this is not my area of expertise. It really
It's
is not.
very much. She kind of lifts up her skirt a little bit. Do you think it is mine? Wait. I do have. I might be able to. It might still fit. Okay, but if not, where would somebody go to find fancy clothes? Because I don't want to go through the market and get lost, and I don't know.
Well, the fancier clothes are probably going to be closer to the glass glade. If there's the Harbor's Edge that has all those shops. I believe one of them is all kinds of noble clothing and whatnot. They have the style, I think. I don't know. I do not pay much attention to it. I just wear this like 99% of the time. Kind of motions towards her, like armor and stuff.
It does suit you very well. Okay, well, thank you very much. I'm going to, I guess, go wait for the others to get back and see if any of them have good suggestions as well. Have a good afternoon. And she's just
You
gonna
as well.
go and wait
Enjoy the
for...
gilded ember.
I think I will. I'm very interested in the Gilded Ember and maybe the person that I'm going with. So you have good
Good
day.
for you.
Goodbye. She'll just walk
Bye.
out, and she will go to more of the common area and wait for the three of them, the three of the other Motley Hue, to arrive.
Okay. We'll say dinner scene. Cue the dinner scene. Boom.
Yeah.
Everyone's there.
There we go. So, I need all of your help with something that's what I think is important.
What do you need?
Well, I have a meeting tomorrow night, a dinner date tomorrow night, and I have to go and find a fancy outfit. I have been told fancy. And maybe you could all come with me as I try on the fancy and tell me whether it is good or not. Maybe?
Sure. I would be that sounds really fun.
Yes,
Perfect.
it does.
Excellent. And she's gonna kind of be looking around. There's no one else around but them, correct?
Yeah. The captain might be there. She might come grab some food and then go back and whatnot. But yeah, pretty much just you guys.
Yeah. And as for the book that we found with the other book on the inside, I went to talk to Gronk. He's the one that's taking me out for dinner, actually. Two separate things. But I went to talk to him about finding, my father, who may or may not be in this city, because I think he might be in danger, because, I should probably tell you all now. He was kind of big guy in the archives of Mythendril, and I know that he studied this, so I want to find him to kind of protect him, but at the same time I think maybe it would give us a little bit of advantage, because according to Gronk, everybody is now looking for this information. So maybe if we found my father first, we could get the information first. This would be a good thing, maybe. and also protect my father. Could you pass the rice, maybe, please?
My arms are a little short, but here you go.
Thank you very much. And she's gonna put
Slide
more
it across the
plate.
table.
Yeah, she'll grab it and put more on her plate as if she didn't just,
So, if anyone was trying to get information about the fallen city, your father is probably the first place to start.
Well, if anybody knows Mythendril and knows about the families of Mythendril and knows about, well, her last name, they would probably think it would be a good source of information to go at least ask some questions there. And, well, all sorts of people seem to be looking for it. I don't know if all of them would be very nice to him. So I'd rather get to him. Look, I don't know if I do. It is very strange. It's kind of like title but last name all at the same time. Actually, funny fact, if any of you were to marry me, you would take my name. I would not take yours. That's kind of how important name was.
Okay.
It's not just name and title about like, ooh, I am prince of so and so. It's nothing to do with that. It's more to do with who my family has been very dedicated to for many, many, many hundreds of years, I guess. Maybe even longer than that.
Is it this mysterious person that gives you your powers?
Yes. But either way, I think maybe Gronk is going to help me look into this, but he did say that Calorith is very much looking for all of the information now. Well, if we found this in the book with the Kazdaram, probably means that other parties outside of the people we have met already, who are probably already looking for this book, are probably looking for this book. If we can... I don't know. If we can find my father, maybe we can stop people from also going to Mythendril to look for this book. I mean, it is a great way to meet people from the world, but really I am tired of healing people who decide, oh, I'm just going to go to Mythendril. Sorry, Euan. Frustration coming through. I apologize. A lot of people go through Mythendril, to Mythendril, not realizing how dangerous it is there, because they want to find lost treasures or secrets or something. The city was burned. There is nothing there but lost death energy that is looking to creep out over the land, or just, I don't know, kill whoever wants to try and come in. When they do make it out, well, usually you end up on my doorstep.
This all sounds very familiar.
But that is how we met. I know your memory's a little hazy, but that is how we met. So if I can stop people from even getting the urge to go, I know that people will go, but I need to make sure that the right people stumble in the doors of my home, not the wrong people stumble in the doors of my home.
It makes sense. Well, if you want, I can help you clean up dishes here, and we can go get that dress or fancy outfit.
Perfect. Let's all go after dinner, and we can go and maybe there will be a sweet cellar on the way and we can get some dessert and then we can go try on, well, I will go and try on the fancy dresses and just you can help me make sure that I look really good for going to fancy dinner date. Is there anything I shouldn't do?
I can't say I've been to many fancy dinners.
I probably shouldn't eat with my hands, right?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be using the silverware utensils.
Perfect.
Although some places are confusing. I've been to some places that they insist you use the thing, and then there are other places we're supposed to be using your hands. Anyway, that's
She's going to laugh and basically clean up the dishes and rally the troops and I guess head down to one of these places and I don't know, go through a whole bunch of outfits and stuff like that, and you guys are about to be just inundated with like, and this one? What about this one? Does it do good things for my skin? Like, you know, just like all of those sorts of questions that
We'll say go ahead and roll. I don't think it would be quite investigation because the shop is there. It's just finding the right dress. We'll just say a straight charisma, but with advantage because you're tagging along all the other party members.
okay.
I can tell you that Rhukkarrak really gets into this and finds some slightly more silly pieces and gets a good laugh
Which
out of it.
there is. Like, you all saw a lot of the noble wear, if you want to call it that.
Why did that not give me? Why did that not roll with advantage? At least you saw it. All right.
There you go.
12.
Oh, okay. Not terrible.
Not terrible.
Just everything in here. It's just such a different. It's a whole new world. Like, you were at that party for just a brief moment, and everybody was wearing just such obscene, weird clothing, and the style is just so foreign that you're not sure. None of you are sure what the fashion sense is really. You kind of rely on like the clerk there, who just like, oh, don't worry, we'll doll you right up. And they kind of bring out different dresses and whatnot. And you find something that you're happy with. It's weird, though. It's definitely something that you've never worn before. Very poofy.
Poofy?
Poofy, yes. All kinds of like ribbons and laces everywhere. Yeah, it's great. We'll say that dress is going to cost you like 100 gold, though. It's like
That's fine.
really expensive.
That's fine. Whatever. That's fine. Poofy with laces and okay, I'll make it work. Whatever.
I mean, if that's what Gronk likes.
Players having issues at the moment, but that's okay. Anyways, yes. Oh god, the people of Elendor have no taste. Alright. Well, she will purchase the dress. I will take that money off of my thing and I guess head back to the chapter house.
Okay.
For a night's sleep and then go to work and then it'll be the next day.
Day 3. Boom, boom. Okay. Alright. So, anything else you would like to do in your downtime other than this? Because this will be like the last scene, then we'll group back up as a group.
I don't think so. I think she's just I think she's just gonna stay when she's walking around places, she's gonna stay pretty vigilant about, keeping her eyes open on things and stuff like that. Just on faces, because it's on her mind. She doesn't actually think she's going to see her father at all anywhere, but the curiosity is there of looking at the faces in the crowd. But other than that, I think more on her mind is going home and doing her hair and getting in the all the rage fancy dress that should be good for the Golden Ember and make her look to the nines. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. With that, the night kind of passes on, and you, throughout the day or not, you would have asked where the Gilded Ember is. It actually resides in the Glass Glade itself. It's actually not too far away from the Tide chapter. It's just kind of like across the main bridge and down a few blocks. You get all dolled up, if you will, and head on out. As the sun starts to set in the sky, probably time. And so, walking throughout the Glass Glade here, you fit in a lot better than you have before, as there are a lot of other nobles that are also getting ready for dinner, and heading towards the same spot. And you see all manner of clothes, but your dress definitely stands out even amongst their own, whatever style sense they have, as you spent a pretty penny on it. But eventually you do hear a voice. Oh, there you are. Wow, that's a dress. Look great. Right this way.
Thank you. Okay.
And you do see Grunk. This is the first time you've actually seen him not in his Storm Warden outfit. And he's also is wearing some interesting clothes. Not quite as outlandish and crazy as like Aeon would wear, but still kind of semblances of the style are seen in his outfit. But he cleaned up pretty good. Like his hair's slicked back and all that whatnot. But yeah, he kind of leads you up towards the Gilded Ember. This place is lavish. You actually enter the building itself, and the canal actually goes into the building itself, and there's like different floating dining arrangements, like tables that kind of float across the main dining hall area here. You see different couples and nobles and whatnot dining at these places. There's like small little ferrymen, if you will, servers that kind of guide over to these tables and whatnot. And you stand in a little bit of line before you were let in. Grant kind of nods, probably knows the main, can't think of the word of the, it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't remember. Main guy in the front. That's the word you're gonna get. And then you were then like get into a small little ferry boat that takes you off to one of these tables, where then you're sat down. It was very, very elegant, super lavish. You can see there's all manner of ember glass, like chandeliers that just reflect the light, and it bounces all throughout the interior here. It's very, very pretty.
Well, Asja is going to very much be trying to keep her jaw off the ground, as this is pretty, out of her wheelhouse of, like, wow, this is really fancy for stuff, and oh my, the tables are floating, like, so she's trying very hard not to be her normal exuberant, but as they're in the thing, she's going to kind of lean over. How do they make the tables are floating? This place is so cool, and the lights are very much like back at home. Oh, I like this place so much, but she's gonna do it quietly.
Glad you like it. I don't eat here very often. Definitely a special occasion. As you guys sit down one of the waiters on a little ferry boat kind of comes over, and you can see they're actually not like full on paddle in like the water. A lot of them are just like control water and like propelling themselves through arcane means around this room. Let's see here. The waiter kind of comes up to you all. Welcome to the Gilded Lotus. What can I start you all out with? We have the flame-kissed Leviathan steak, quite the rare cut of meat, or the Tide Pearl risotto, or a Phoenix Blossom soup is one of my personal favorites. We also do have some Glimmerfin tartar, and then for dessert tonight we actually have the Emberglass creme brulee. Kind of just looks at you two.
She's going to look at Grunk. I eat anything. If you want to order for both of us, it all sounds good. But you've eaten here before, so you know what's better than I do.
We'll get one of those steaks and soup as well to go with it. And we're definitely gonna do that brulee thingy. Yeah, that thing at the end there. It's pronounced brulee. Yeah, that thing. All right. Thank you. Kind of nods. Very well. Oops. Kind of turns back to you. So, this place is kind of nice because we're a little secluded while we enjoy our meal. We can talk about a little more sensitive topics, like your father. I did my searches. Unfortunately, there wasn't a whole lot. There was notes of that he did arrive in the city with the survivors, and then stayed at some in the Emberlight Hearth for a few days. But then just kind of vanished, and wasn't really any notes other than that. Just kind of interesting.
Well, then that's more than I had before. I guess I could go and check the inn at the Emberlight Hearth. I mean, it might still exist, right?
I believe that's a place down in the Wave Crest. I think so. Name's not super familiar. Might be in Cinderville, I'm not sure. But no, the lack of information is a little more telling than you might think. Like, if he was somewhere in the city doing business, we would definitely have information on that. We can kind of rule that out.
So
if he
is left?
It's potentially. If he did leave, though, and hired, like, merchants to go with him or whatnot, as long as he didn't travel alone, probably have information on that, too, depending on the different caravans and whatnot, because we like to keep a good track of what's going in and out of the city a lot of the times. At least, what's coming in. Not as much going out, so it is very possible that he could have just slipped out one of the days. I'm not sure.
It doesn't really... I know it's been a long time since I have seen him, and I was very small the last time I saw him, but... Or very young, I should say. But... does not sound like my father to just slip out. Unless there was already something going on back then.
Right. I wish there was...
Were you born here?
Oh, Yes.
Oh,
I've lived my whole life here in the city.
so you never traveled?
Not more than just different voyages out in the Gulf here and there. Storm warden duty, all that. But not further than a couple miles. No.
Then you wouldn't have the information that... I will be honest with you. What my family did when we lived in the city that's now destroyed, it was very important in that city, and I guess people who would know about Mithril would have that knowledge. So maybe if my father didn't feel safe, he did slip out already.
Now,
I don't know.
one question that I had that might be a hard subject. You're a gemborn elf. Most all of Mithril were gemborn elves.
Mm-hmm.
Was your father also one of these gemborn?
As far as I remember. But she's gonna try and have a good think on that, because that is something that she's kind of been curious about as well, since Dagon said something last game of, wait a second, why is my dad still like gung-ho?
Go ahead and roll a history check. DC's not
Alright.
super high, but been a while.
Okay.
Been a while.
Come on, dice. Come on, dice. 10.
10 was the DC, so. Ooh.
Okay, yay!
You remember that, yes, both of your parents were gemborn elves. They aided a lot in the facilitation of the Landris within Mithril as well. And they were married.
No. Both of my parents were gemborn elves. They were married. They even did work with... No, they were very much... I've had the same question. Dagon asked me the other day. But what about the... This is why I've thought my father was dead for 80 years. I know what happens to a gemborn elf when their partner...
Right. I mean... Could that mean that perhaps your mother's also alive?
She's just gonna, like, fork mid-stopped. I had not thought of that. That would be... that would add a whole new layer of... Well, how do I deal with that?
That's the case, though. They
Grandmother
didn't
never prepared me for this.
come to Elendor together, unless your mother, for some reason, was using a alias as a name. I don't know why. What the purpose of that would be, though.
I will go back and check the list names, but
I'm sorry, this is all some heavy conversation. If you don't
It's fine. This is...
want to talk about this, we can always
No,
discuss
it's
other stuff.
fine. I've never really considered it. I guess the only question I have is the same question I have for most people is, Or at least for them. They knew where we were. Why didn't they come?
And, where is that specifically? Like, where do you come from? You from Mithrandel. But that city's kaput. It's no more.
It is a small little place, very forgettable in the middle of the desert shade woods. It's what we could do.
Right.
As
You can
we had a few adults with us, yes, sorry.
go ahead and just roll an insight check.
Yeah, he doesn't believe that for a moment, does he?
17, pretty good.
17.
You can tell that he's like, okay, she's not telling me everything, but that's okay.
When she's gonna kind of scooch a little to be sitting more, seeing as they're sharing a plate and everything, she's gonna just move to be sitting like right next to him so she can talk a little quiet, even though it's private, a little quieter. So, just before the invasion of Mithrandel, maybe a few days, I guess some people who were in positions of power knew that this was coming. And so some of the elderly and some of those that couldn't fight, and as many children as they could, we were brought together under my grandmother, and we went out into the desert shade woods to, I guess, wait out whatever was supposed to happen. I don't think anyone thought that the complete destruction of Mithrandel was what was going to happen. I don't have the same memories as maybe my father does, who stayed in the city. Or if you're right, my mother is still alive. Either way, we made our way into the desert shade woods, and while we had a few adults with us, we made a new home. We felt, it wasn't until I came to Ellendor that I realized that the Sunspire was, well, you guys seem to have come through it perfectly well. I mean, some people have some big scars on their hearts, but I mean, your city seemed to be okay. So
we're lucky down here in Ellendor. Or didn't quite reach us before Big Boom happened.
Big Boom?
Yeah, the ending of the war. The gigantic explosion that basically decimated the entirety of both sides. Now what is left over is the Ashen Expanse.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
By that point, we were, I guess the simplest way to put it is we were hidden away from the world at that point. Being protected in our own way.
Yeah, it was complete. I don't think Arthar or the Zorka has seen anything that large before. I mean, I wasn't there, obviously. Anyone who was, well, they're no more. It completely tore asunder the entirety of the northern portion of the Sunspire. That entire place. All that remains now is Ashen Expanse. Our death energy runs rampant.
Seems to be the theme of the Embervale War. There was no winner, there was no loser, but wow, there's a lot of death energy everywhere. There's your prize.
Yep, think that people would learn. War is not really the answer. Worries me, though, recent events.
There are too many people who have scars that are not visible on the outside still. Like Caloris. Obviously his passion comes from somewhere. When we were in the council meeting, he gave quite the speech reminding people about what happened to the fallen cities. My question to him is, where was he 80 years ago? If he cared so much, where was he?
Wanna
Dagon says people
tread
came to look
lightly
for
with
us.
that.
I'm not going to ask him to his face. I don't really think I ever want to speak to him again. His effect on me is not one I appreciate. I like thinking with a clear head and not with my heart.
Hard to do.
Or my... I don't know. It is hard, but you can train yourself to do it. My grandmother used to have good ways to do this, and she taught me many ways to try and overcome the fire that burns within us. I mean, obviously there is still some fires, but mostly I try and look at things in all perspectives within the balance, instead of just looking at it from one side. I still don't understand why they came here in the first place, or why they thought that it would be good to come here in the first place. But now there is a good part of me that feels not so good about what happened on the beach, and I don't know. I think some of them came here for bad reasons, but the ones that did not, I don't think anyone deserves to die just because they are what they are. And I have a feeling that on the beach, many people that had no clue whatsoever, they were just there. Like that young boy or the young Kazdurum that was on the beach. He was just there with his parents. He was innocent. But because tensions ran high and something went boom, now he walks a different adventure, I guess.
It was quite the tragedy.
It was. Either way, let's just hope that that day does not lead to history repeating itself and more sad times will start happening. I'm not saying that we will ever see peace between the elves and the Kazdurum. I don't think that would happen in my lifetime, your lifetime, or anybody's lifetime. But at least if we could find a settled agreement, I think that would be nice. Common ground, I believe, is also how it's referred to.
Right. There's something you should know.
What?
The council's planning on... Gallup believes that he's gotten everything out of the Kazdurum that he can. They're gonna be... Well, setting them free, if you want to call it that. That's what they're calling it. I don't know if I would call it that. But basically, kicking them out of the city and making sure they get far away from the city.
Well, if they are doing this soon, I guess. I guess at that point they still have a little bit of time before the harsh really starts going, but at the same time, if they wait till just before the harsh, then that's pretty much the same as, I don't know, executing somebody?
Right.
Just not really doing it by your own hand?
Kind of feels that way to me. And they're not gonna keep them until, like, Embervale's here. But it's
But
not
they're going
that
to keep
far
them.
away either. I think they were kind of... I don't know the exact date. I wasn't privy to that information. Keeping it on the down low. But it's soon. Next day or two.
Well, I will let the others know that. Thank you for letting me know that. But you really need to stop doing things that help out that could cause you. Don't put yourself in danger, okay? Please?
Kinda have a habit of that recently, eh? The fireballs to the face, and I don't think anyone suspects me too much over at the scoreboard. I haven't done anything completely, like, against their wishes, but definitely wouldn't be happy if they found out that I'm telling you this, that's for sure.
Well, that's true. They probably also wouldn't be happy with the fact that you know that I might have some information on that book that they want to know as well, and you're withholding that. So,
Right. Yeah.
so maybe we should stop making this look so much like, I don't know, two people having a conspiracy theory talk, and she's going to move closer to him and basically reach her hand up onto where, like, there might be a few scars and bruises and stuff like that, and she's just going to lightly run her hand down his cheek, and at the same time she'll just put a little point of the healing energy she's got into it, so he'll get one hit die of stuff, and basically she's just gonna lay on the charm at that point.
Okay. And, yeah. Gronk reciprocates.
Yay.
He's a little hesitant at first, but yeah. It doesn't take much.
Ooh, 2 points of damage.
Ooh, 2 points of healing.
Healing. Ooh. Still.
But yeah, the two of you, dinner is brought out, and it is the best food you have ever eaten. Like, the portions are absurdly small. What's up with that? Is what's going through your mind. But, like, every bite is like, wow. Yeah, it's a very, very good food. But yeah, you two enjoy a nice moment, kind of together there, thinking about everything you just discussed, and trying not to have it lead the conversation. You kind of just get to know each other a little bit more, and try to ease your mind a little bit off of the concerning part of your guys' relationship. Eventually, you have the creme brulee that is super good too, and then you're kind of chauffeured out. And then he kind of is just walking alongside. He's kind of walking you back towards, well, here, we'll go like this. Oops. So, where you staying nowadays?
Oh, at least for right now, I'm staying at the Tideswept chapter house.
I see. I'll walk you back. Too far away.
Where do you stay?
I got a place over in the Wave Crest. It's nothing super fancy, but it's nice.
maybe one day, I don't know, we could go to the market. I could pick up some food and we could go to your place and I could cook dinner there.
Oh,
Maybe
is
bigger
that so?
portion sizes. Yes. I'm
That is
very good at
kinda-
cooking.
One thing. Don't give you a whole lot for your gold. But it is so good.
delicious. Oh,
Right?
very good food.
Oh man.
That is one thing I will give your Elendor is the food has been so good. I like food a lot, if you can't tell.
No, don't worry. I'm right there with you.
Good. Then she kind of reaches in a pouch and pulls out a small pouch. Do you want a snack?
Oh my God, you brought snacks. Thank
I bring
Gallimore.
snacks everywhere. There we go. Let's eat. And she's basically just gonna continue, like, getting to know him. Like, like, what was your childhood like? Just like little questions. But as they're walking, at one point, she's gonna kind of go, do you remember one of the first couple of times we met where you said you were jealous of us for being able to go outside and explore free and stuff like that? Why did you say that?
Oh,
Aren't you happy here?
right, I am. I don't know if I was mentioning more outside, just... There's a lot of rules when it comes to being a Storm Warden, and a lot of procedures you have to follow to a T. I probably should be following them a little bit better. And sometimes it can bog down my work, especially when I'm trying to investigate stuff, but I gotta get like a permit for going in this place or whatnot. It just gets a little tedious. Where, like, you guys, you were able to just go on right down into that, whatever it was, that water hole. Yeah, temple thing. And, if I just went right on down there without, like, getting the proper, like, approval, probably could have lost my job.
Ah, I see.
Makes things tough.
Interesting. I don't know. I kind of envy you because you get to actually live, I don't know, without wearing any masks or anything like that. Sure, there's permits and there's order and stuff like that, but you don't have to... You don't have to hide things.
Do you,
I hope that makes...
what do you mean?
I think you could already tell that I skirt around the subject on certain things.
Right.
Fortunately, this is part and parcel of what I do. You are a Storm Warden, an investigator. You protect the city in many ways, and where I come from, I do very similar, but I am more like your high priestess in the council. And that's basically what I do back at home.
See.
I take care of things at home with that kind of stuff. More magical in life and death and... But yes.
Two people from two different worlds. Reminds me of that play, The Romeo and Juliet.
Damn it, starfish.
I'm sorry, I don't think I know that one. Maybe I will
It's
have...
great. We'll have to, that's the next date.
I look forward to it. Do I have to wear fancy clothing again? Or is it somewhere maybe a little less?
Not nearly as fancy now.
Although I do like the dress, it's very nice. Reminds me of when I was younger.
Looks good on you.
It was nice to dress up and have reason to. Thank you. She's just gonna slide her arm through his and walk the rest of the way home, kind of head resting on his arm and stuff like that. Occasionally offering snacks.
Yeah, walk isn't too much further. You guys arrive at the side chapter. Well, it's got an early morning. Kind of swamped these days with everything that's going on. But this was nice. Needed to get out of my head a little bit. Well, thank you. And I'll keep my eyes and ears open about all the stuff.
I really appreciate that. And I appreciate tonight. She's just gonna kind of go up on her tiptoes really quickly, and she's going to give him a little kiss on the cheek and go down and smile and
Wowza.
go home and be safe and sleep well and don't do anything that's going to get you in trouble. Because you have to take me now to a play. See, now I have to hold you to the fact that you're going to take me to a play.
He's still just kind of
And
stunned
I have
there
to
for a
cook you
moment.
dinner. Hello?
Shakes his head. Right, yes, play. Sometime in the next 10 day or so. Figure out when it's on next.
Well, it looks like we're here for the harsh because it's going to come soon. I don't think we really have time to get anywhere else, so try not to be too busy, but you have time. Good night, Grunk. Thank you again. And
Nice.
she's just gonna kind of slide through the doors and close them. And if anybody's around, they're gonna kind of see her very kind of like, as she closes the door with her back still turned, there's gonna be a giggle that comes out of her as she...
Go ahead and just roll a perception check, just because it's fun.
Okay.
I was gonna say Ruka is there, and as soon as she walks to the door, he's going to ask if she had to eat the food with her hands.
15?
Before Ruka asks that, you just kind of peer out one of the windows and you just see him like do a fist bump, like, yeah. And he walks off.
And she kind of turns around and smiles. Oh, no, we shared dinner on the plates. It was delicious, absolutely. Yeah, we used the cutlery. And wow. So, anyways, I need to go and she looks very flustered. It was a very good night. Oh, where are the others? Before I forget, before I go to bed and dream about, other things, but where are the others? I have some very important information that I think will be very important to everybody. Actually, come to the room. I'm sure others maybe are in the room.
Yeah,
Everybody's gathered back up. Boom.
Yeah. And yeah, Rhukkarrak will help gather everyone up and meet up in the room.
Cue
We're all
to
in our
midnight
bedroom, there
snacks.
we
Boom.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing that Gronk told me at dinner tonight was that they're pretty much done questioning the Kazdurum, and that in the next day or two, the Kazdurum are going to be put on their boat and set free and made to go as far away as possible.
Would they be able to survive and make it back before the harsh?
I don't know that part, but it doesn't seem maybe very likely.
If
I also
people
don't know what
want
it's
to
like on the
roll
ocean.
survival checks, I'll say Maldorwen, you could do so with advantage because of your cartography and whatnot knowledge.
And my rolling streak continues. It's fine. I got a 7.
Wow, what's going on with my luck today?
Ooh,
Can you
it's
get
turning around.
I need Euan's
for me.
dice to go away
You
so I
stole
can
mine.
actually see mine. There we go.
All right, so Ruka, you got a 7.
Yep.
Another one got 24.
I got a 20.
I came down the other side of the continent. I don't know anything about that side.
Yeah, that's true. 21 for Asja and 12 for Euan. Okay. Yeah. Asja and Maldorwen, you two, like, they could not get all the way back, like, from down here, because the Gulf of... the Morvian Gulf kind of goes inland quite a bit. So to go all the way out and around back up to all the way north, where it would be like Khazad territory, that would take longer than they'd want to be on the waters, for sure.
It is a death sentence. They are sending them out to die at sea.
That is pretty much what Gronk and I figured was. It's pretty much like an execution, but you're not the one doing it.
There's
So
a
your
deep,
hands don't have blood on them. There we go.
there's a deep rolling growl that sort of issues from Euan's chest. He clenches his hand to a fist. Looks like he's going to punch the table and stops. Is there anything that we can do to save them?
I don't know.
Well,
Asja, you said your home or whatever is nearby. You talked about maybe bringing them there for safety.
I don't. Now that we know that some of them are looking for the book, I just really don't think that that's a very good idea. Please don't ask me for more information. I don't know if anything is there, but I don't know what all was brought with us there, so I just really don't think that would be... Also, I'm not even sure they would make it through the front door.
Maldorwen, what about Caritas? Would that even be a remotely good idea?
No, it wouldn't. My people would take the fast route and see it as a mercy to avoid them their suffering.
So they're doomed
Well,
to die.
Look, let me... Let me meditate on some stuff tonight and see if maybe all things need protecting. This is what I need to remember. But at the same time, there are still boundaries that need to be followed. I don't know. I don't know. Let me see if I can maybe dream up some answers tonight or something and have a better answer. Maybe they can. Maybe there is a way to shelter them where I'm from, but I don't know how, and I don't see it going very well.
With that 24 that you rolled, Maldorwen, you'd know the Pyroclast Isles. They are like the offshore from Arnothor itself. They are not aligned with the Sunspire Dominion completely. They don't have bad relationships with the Sunspire, but that would be somewhere that they could definitely get to if like they had good relationships with that. You're not sure on that culture that much, but I would say that just kind of pops into your head, knowing like maybe you pulled out your map and saw that those are there too.
Yeah, I think that's like a great idea for the scene. Like Maldorwen rolls out his map of Aruthar, and he'll point towards the Isles and say, well, with the seasons the way they are right now, and little time before Embervale is on us, the only place they could reasonably sail to is the Pyroclast Isles. Even though, well, Kerters travels far and wide, but I never heard much about those people.
Oh,
We did
we've-
meet Marley from the Flame and Flagon. She said she's from there.
Oh, they're very nice people. We've had a few come through my city. They're very nice. They're red Drakthir mostly. I don't know. A couple actually have decided to stay in my city as well, and I don't know. They're. I don't know. How are the relations between? I would assume they would be fine.
Well, if Elendor wasn't attacked during the Ember War and they didn't come as far as here, I don't see why they would have reached the Pyroclast Isles.
I'll say people can roll history checks on this subject as well. Rhukkarrak, you have disadvantage.
Okay, doesn't matter. My streak
what check-
continues.
What check did you
Let's
say?
go,
before,
Asja.
Starfish?
That was a 19. What do you mean?
What check did you say this was?
History.
History, yeah.
History check. Sorry. Suddenly couldn't remember if you said history or insight. 10.
Okay, so 10 for Euan, 19 for Asja, 8 for Rhukkarrak, and then Maldorwen, what did you get?
No, it was 5, but
Oh, it's
it
5.
doesn't make a difference.
Yeah,
What?
I'm back to my old luck.
Back to your old luck, okay.
Oh no.
Okay. So that makes sense though, because Asja, you probably have spent the most time with people from the Pyroclast Isles and would know a little bit about their culture, albeit not a ton. Yeah, it is a Drakthir, a fire Drakthir colony, if you would, that don't really interact too much with either Durak Thol up north with the Khazad or the Sunspire Dominion. They kind of are just their own independent place, and they kind of like it that way. They do trade here and there with the two different places. You don't think there's like bad blood between either of them.
Okay.
You don't also think that they're like buddy either. Just neutral.
As far as I know, they're very similar to my city. They're neither on neither side, kind of more independent. Probably very neutral. It's a good place, probably, for them to try and get to, and they can shelter out the harsh. It is mostly red Drakthir, so
I just cannot get over how hypocritical it is. Isn't it supposed to be illegal to not shelter people during the harsh? And yet the people that are supposed to keep the law are anyway, never mind.
Except they're not going to be here during the harsh. That's how they get around it.
yep. Harsh has not really started. If you think this is harsh, just you wait. It gets a lot worse down here.
This also puts, well, I don't know how it puts our plans now. Like, are we gonna be able to find out anything about them? And it already seems like, well, Calerith got what he wanted. So,
Well,
Well,
maybe
that's
this
if-
is when you contact Shadowthorn with this information and you say, I don't know, if you want us to do something, then we're going to need help because just the four of us cannot do the impossible of breaking free the Khazad to bring to him. So maybe he has an idea of what to do. I don't know. Maybe he has a ship that could... I don't know what to say. Maybe he could sneak some people on board their ship. I don't know. That would be one way he could, but then his people would also have to stay alive, so maybe that would be good. I don't know.
Now, DM, just chronologic wise, I'm assuming that the conversation about the merchant scam was about the same time, like was basically now.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll say that you guys, it's really late, go to bed, wake up, and then you're having that conversation. Yeah, there we go. So with that, the captain just informed me that Aeon would like to speak with you guys as well.
So we could still, the merchant plan is a real possibility for getting the information before they get kicked out. And who knows what Cowrith actually got. At least he's convinced that he's got all that he could get.
And that is good. I didn't see it that way. Perhaps we should talk to Euan first. See what he wants right now.
Yes, and we can figure out the details of the plan after we know what piece he has on the puzzle.
All right, well, then I say we finish breakfast and we get ready and we go see Aeon.
Okay. And then one last little thing before we move on from our daily things. I did think of one thing, and that was that he would continue to meditate on his powers every night.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a charisma check.
Oh.
The charisma. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Rhukkarrak doesn't know how to meditate.
That's like your fifth one
natural
tonight.
one today.
Oh no. I could just imagine Rhukkarrak like, meditate, meditate, meditate.
I mean, yeah, no, he really doesn't know anything about what he's doing. So that is very accurate.
Buddy,
but still. Okay, well.
I tried to meditate and punched a hole in the wall. I don't know what happened.
Lord of Darkness, Lord of Darkness, Lord of Darkness. That's
yeah,
funny.
he's
Okay, yeah, you don't
okay.
get anything off of that. But you meditate. You think you feel something, but nothing happens.
Yep. All right. Sweet.
But there's a light on all night.
Well, he's not meditating all day.
Dagon
but,
comes in.
yeah.
Turn that damn light off. Electricity bills through the roof.
What's electricity?
Okay.
Alright, so you all head on out into the bustling streets of Elendor to go visit with Aeon Zathriel. The captain informed you that he wanted you to come meet him at his estate. And so, quick ferry ride over there. You were then brought to the lavish estate that is much more quiet than when you previously visited it. It's still incredibly fancy. There still is like food kind of everywhere, but it is nowhere near as crowded as before. The guards kind of at the front kind of look towards you all, and I'm like, "Oh, we've been expecting you. Aeon's inside." They kind of chauffeur you in to the doors, where there you see Aeon's currently walking in his estate, currently discussing with two other noblemen that look like they are trying to both impress and do business with Aeon at the same time. But as soon as you guys kind of breach the doorway there, and turns around.
Oh, just what I'd like to see. Alright, shoo. Well, welcome in. The Motley Hue, right? That's what your title is now. It's quite the ring to it, I like it. Please, come in.
And Rhukkarrak awkwardly comes and shuffles in, and I assume they're seating.
Yeah.
If you're all parched at all, please, indulge.
Kind of motions towards the, like, feast on a table still. They're just kind of sitting there.
So, you all have done quite the work here in this great city. Making a name for yourself. And I think it's about time that we do business together as well. As long as you want to, that is. But I have need of mercenaries like yourself. And, well, the Donald Sentinels are kind of running a little thin nowadays, if you know what I mean. I think you do. And so, you're the only really option. But a good option you are. All your colourful faces. I have a very valuable item that needs transportation to Veltari. Usually I would just send my merchants to take the shipment. However, the importance of this item is of the, well, utmost importance. And so, I've, just to rest assured on my conscience, I'd like a little more security traveling that way. The Harsh is coming soon, so extra hands would help. I would like to be able to send this out before the Harsh. It would be on ferry for most, or at least a decent part of the journey, before the waters dry up, and then probably on Granthaw the rest of the way. What do you say?
Ruka looks at the rest of the party like, this is not at all what we were planning.
That does beg the question, DM. Is it reasonable that we could theoretically get whatever this item is to Voltari and then get back here to Elendor before the Harsh?
No, you would be cutting it close, getting to Voltari before the, like, harsh hits.
Well, business works both ways. You have asked something of us. What is it that you have to offer for such a task?
Oh, well, anything you desire. Well, most things. What is it that you would want for something like this? Gold, name your price. Favors? I kind of want to owe you one of those, at least the council does.
Euan has quite the thoughtful look on his face as they're kind of having this sort of back and forth. Could you give us the night to discuss it as a group?
Well, of course. Who would I be to rush you into a big decision like this? Just know that it is a little bit of a timely matter, as, well, every day is closer to that hot burning Ignicera in the sky there. But you have a few days before you would absolutely need to leave. So, think about it. Get back to me. I will, reward you handsomely.
Don't suppose this is one of those jobs where you tell us what the item is beforehand.
Oh, no, that is classified information. It is. Yeah, not something that I would like to share. And that would be part of the contract of the deal, not to know exactly what you're transporting. I wouldn't really care as much, but the client that is purchasing said object is a little more on the secretive side, if you would. Discretion and all.
Well, we appreciate the offer, and we will discuss it.
Please do. Oh, look at that. He picks up a piece of food and just...
Yeah, the guard's gonna just chauffeur you back out the doors as you are then back into the Glassglade of Elendor with another prospect bubbling on your minds. There's a lot to do in this city. A lot that is going to happen soon in this city. What will you and what won't you do? That is the question that you guys will have to ask yourself throughout this next week, because that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
No!
So throughout the week, decide what you guys want to do as a group. There's a lot of options. Lots of things to do.